Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the show that you wish you still had your pants on for, or something like that. Music Exposed. Hi.
What?
What?
Wait,
do you
what?
mean?
What?
You know, because having your pants on, I don't know.
Because
Hi.
having your pants on. Yes.
Do you have your pants on?
Yes.
Really? Cool, because
Yes.
I don't have any pants on, just saying, you know.
Clearly. Yeah.
Well, my jokes are really
you're
good.
You're about ready to teach some fourth grade today. You're
Excuse you.
Now class.
No, are you
gonna teach us about fractions today?
No, I'm gonna teach you about how to be a good housewife today.
Oh, it's cotillion. Got it.
Yes.
It's a different kind of class. All right, I see.
Do you like? It's a different kind of class. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
That's right.
If you don't know what this is, I don't know either. My name is Sarah Jazz.
What is this?
My name is Sarah Jazz, and I do music, I think, sometimes. And then I do shows. And and today we have Jay Dublé on the show. And also, we haven't been in this studio for 1,000 years, so I'm very excited for that. So what I'm going to do is sit my very housewifey ass down and see who the fuck is talking in the background. Or
1,000 years, huh? Is that what we're saying right now? Is that the thing?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I'm so much bigger than you. Wait. Hi.
That's what she said.
That is what she
It's
said.
true. Just saying.
Hi,
how are you?
How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
You are? You are amazing.
Yes,
That's very true, actually.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for that.
Hi. Tell us who
It's
you
called
are.
Hi, friends. Hi, I'm the Silence Noise. I play music and do shenanigans on Twitch. And if you watch this channel ever, you've probably seen me on it in the last 3 months. And yes, as you can see, I am rocking. I didn't make this, actually. I have to lean back to show it off. I had a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, made this shirt for me and sent it to me for Christmas. It was very kind of them because Music Exposed. So yes, I have a Music Exposed shirt now, which is exciting.
Yes.
I'm very grateful for that.
I don't have a Music Exposed shirt.
No one else in the world does. The only thing I would say is the shirt. I normally, this style of shirt is not my favorite, but once it's broken in, it'll probably be fine. But
why?
I'm sure
What is the difficulty?
I like the softer. Now I'm getting spoiled. You know, as you become an old man, you start getting more specific about things. And there's the softer cotton shirts that you can get now. Like when you buy a shirt at thesilencenoise.com and you buy one of the nice ones.
Yes.
When you buy one of the ones that's, I think they call it vintage on that, but it's like a couple bucks more than the regular one. It's the fabric is so much nicer. It's just like a softer, more flexible, better thing, which this has everything to do with music. I mean, the Silence Noise is a music project, and if you wear band t-shirts all the time, which I do, I pretty much, my wardrobe pretty much only consists of either band t-shirts or hockey jerseys. Like that's basically, that's what I wear.
You do wear that a lot. That is very true. Yeah,
no, that's pretty much all I wear. It's not even a lot.
Oh my god, why am I so big? That's what she said. What he said. Sorry, that's what he said, not she said.
Have you forgotten how to run Music Exposed? You're like, I don't even know.
Completely forgotten.
Sarah Jazz has not run this show since the beginning of November.
That is very true.
Your last episode was the beginning of November, so
I don't know how to. What is the show? Where are we? And what are we doing here? I don't know.
Well, this is Music Exposed. It's our first episode of 2021, and actually, what I'm excited about today is that this is one of the so I'm Otario, gracias, friends. You know, I'm just so glad that I can be here.
Yes.
Happy New Year. I don't get to say that very often, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. So Otario?
But yeah. Well, it's the one phrase I know how to say in Portuguese. Mm-hmm. Happy New Year. So it's good for that. But one of the things that's exciting to me about today is actually one of the guests that I have been waiting for since we started the show. Like when I was first coming up with the idea with Sarah of Music Exposed and thinking through like why I wanted to do it and what the purpose was and all that stuff, there was a small group of guests that I wanted to have on the show, and we've had most of them now. It was people like the Village Ruse, For After Ever, Other Glow, Jay Dublé, and a lot of those people. And then over time, it became people like Hameda and Northbound Matt and that kind of thing. You know, just really people that predominantly focused on original music, that wrote and recorded original music, and their stream was predominantly that, which is true for all the streamers I mentioned. Other Glow doesn't want to be on the show for some reason. Maybe he'll change his mind eventually, but Other Glow was invited early on. I think he was one of the first invites. But he was, and I do want to get, you know, obviously if he ever changes his mind, I definitely want to have him on, but at the same time, you know, that was kind of the thought behind that. And what I love about the show is we've had so many different kinds of guests now. We've had diverse guests on the show. We've had people that do all sorts of different things. We've had the opportunity to create festivals. We have a fundraiser coming up next week, which is a huge thing. Again, for all of you who haven't been paying attention, we have a fundraiser for C. Miller Music and his family. His wife has brain cancer, unfortunately. And so next week, everything that we do on Music Exposed, well, we might need to make it even a little more special. Like maybe we'll do a performance or something on Music Exposed next week too, because to mix up the format a little bit, since it is a fundraiser for C. Miller. And Draymond Music is our guest next week too, so she's amazing, and I'm excited to talk to her as well. But yeah, it's a new year, new focus. If you
new year,
if you
new you. Is it New Year, New You?
No, I'm trying to continue my momentum from 2020.
What
2020
momentum?
was far more good than bad. I'm not
really?
a negative Nelly like you.
You're not a negative Nancy like me, where I'm like, everything is shit.
Actually, no, everything was not shit, which I hate when you say that because I'm actually part of your life now.
That is very true,
That was an amazing thing.
So that was good.
We had a lot of really good things.
That was one of the only
happened.
good things, you know?
Actually, since I've been bringing up the silencenoise.com so much, for those of you that actually care about the project and you like the music and you're interested in what I do, I did a massive post to basically recap everything that was done in 2020. Yeah. You know, I wrote over 30 songs in 2020. Buy my EP is part of it, but I did a lot in 2020.
You did.
And if you're interested in following along with that, you can check it at silencenoise.com. It's the first thing you see when you get to the site is the best of 2020. So it goes through all the songs. It goes through all the good stuff. I recommend for a lot of people, this is something a lot of people don't do enough, but sit down and actually think about your last year. Most people, this is you know, not even just talking about people being
inspirational now.
It's not about inspirational. It's just about like the reality, especially people who are just like 2020 was horrible. My year was awful. You know, nothing good happened. Most people don't spend enough time in their lives just thinking, just sitting back and thinking and reviewing and going through what happened. And so do that from a positive perspective. What were the good things that happened for you in 2020? For me, I know, obviously, if you're watching this show at this point, this was something that was created in 2020. So
true.
Hopefully you enjoy that. This came about
Maybe you
in
hate it and you're like, well, that was also a horrible thing that happened in 2020.
Yeah, maybe
Music Exposed started.
Yes, exactly right. But
yeah,
this
horrible.
show depresses me. Thanks, Grausator. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you who hate us and are just
we appreciate
here to hate watch
you.
the
Even
show.
That's not true. You know what? I've been saying that last year.
We don't appreciate you.
No, last year. No, listen.
We appreciate you. Wait a minute. No, I don't mean
Thank
that.
you so much for that stuff. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Saraja, one heart. Saraja, one heart. Saraja, one heart.
Thank you so much. No, you know what? 2020, I have been a robot, okay? No, in 2020, I have been way too nice, way too, like, caring about things. I think it's time to go back to I don't give a shit, which is bad.
To nihilism.
Yeah,
hey,
to
listen,
nihilism,
if
you hate me, fuck you.
It's my motivational message on this show.
Yes.
I've said it before. We've even ended the show with, don't worry, you're all going to die. If you hate this and you hated 2020, don't worry, eventually you'll die. And then you won't have to remember any of it.
I like that message. 2020 was horrible, but also one day you're going to die. So
yeah, someday you'll die, and then you won't even remember 2020. It's just the truth.
That's a great
Like,
message. That's a great message.
It is,
you know?
though. I actually,
Very uplifting.
to me, that
Very
is uplifting. It is an optimistic message. I know that everybody, you can go ahead and see that as a terrible message, but one day you'll die, and at that point, really, your life will have been defined by what mattered to you, because most people won't remember you anyway. So it's just how it is.
Yes.
Sorry. So does anything you do really matter?
I love that.
Not really.
It's just 2020. Hey, 2020 sucked, but also you're gonna die. You know.
I'm just saying.
Great.
You can take that message however you want.
I think
that
somebody
message?
should clip
Okay.
that. Somebody
What?
should clip that and just spread it as the positive message of 2021.
It is a positive message.
2020
I know people...
sucked, but also you're gonna die.
That's true. Death is worse than 2020. Would you rather be dead?
I mean,
No, probably not.
I mean, it depends on the way you look at it, you know.
I'm just saying.
Man, I love jokes like that. Anyways, how was your? Tell me. So, how was New Year? New Year silence. Like 2021.
New Year's silence. I was in bed with my girlfriend at like 11 p.m. That was my New Year's.
You're so boring.
It was huge. It was a huge party time. Yeah, I'm very boring.
Yeah. Did
Exactly
you at least
right. Yes.
Did you at least like get it on or something?
No, actually, no.
What?
No, I didn't.
What is wrong with you? So you were in bed with your girlfriend and you didn't have sex?
No, we actually went to sleep. We waited until midnight and then we went to sleep pretty much right after.
That sounds very boring. How boring are
Yeah.
you? You're very boring, my God.
I appreciate that. I'm pretty boring, yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty boring. All I do is like stream and hang out at the house like most people in 2020, but or like most people in quarantine. It's like,
Yes.
what else do you do? Not much of anything.
Yeah,
That's
true.
just life right now.
Yeah, it's just
Sucks
sleeping.
bad.
It's just sleeping.
Sounds like a 7-year-old couple.
Yeah.
It was. By that point, my girlfriend and I were very tired from a lot of travel and a lot of activity and a lot of stuff going on.
A lot
so
of
we were just tired.
activity.
Okay. What? We had a lot of activities. We did a lot of things.
Very much.
Why are you so horny all the time? It's hilarious. Do you remember there was a time? There
What?
was a time on Music Exposed when after an episode, Sarah got on a call with me and yelled at me for being too sexual on the show. She's like, you know what, Silence?
I have
Your
never
humor's
done
too
that.
adult.
Shush! I've never.
It's too adult.
No,
It's too sexual.
No, I've never done that.
It was. I can
No.
even tell you when. It was too sexual when I was talking about people that make tongue molds of streamers, or they make the streamer mouth molds.
Oh yeah, and
episode,
the
which was
other
back in,
one
like,
where
4 or
you
5.
talked about my vagina.
I didn't
that
talk
was-
about your vagina.
No, there was one there where you were like, oh yeah, there was a mold of something. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
that was
tongue
really
mold.
weird.
Streamer tongue molds. That's what I was talking about. And that was too sexual. And now you're just like, hey, guess what? I was fucking. Activity means fucking. Ha
Yes.
ha ha.
I didn't
just
say
saying.
that. Also, Sarah, what are you wearing? Listen, I'm a housewife today. What are you talking about?
Are you a desperate? Ha ha, sex. What none of you are having. Ha 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 ha.
Vagina mold, we
Kidding.
need the link, yeah.
Is that a motherfucking sex reference? I agree.
A desperate housewife, yes. I'm a
Yeah.
housewife today. I thought, you know what, chat? I want to, and silence you too, because you were like, oh, what are you wearing today, Sarah? Listen, I
didn't say that.
am looking
I said you look like a 4th grade teacher.
today. I am sophisticated today. I'm sophisticated Sarah Jazz today. I'm going to teach you about the sex.
Oh, okay. What are you gonna? That's very helpful for music. I
Yes.
agree. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
because the sex is really cool. It has a lot of tones you can blow into it, and then it makes sounds. The sex is very nice. I like to play it a lot. There is alto, there is a tenor, there is soprano, there is soprilo, there is sopranino, there is baritone, there is
The hell is sopranino? What the fuck is that? Is that a kid covered in soap?
Yes.
Sopranino.
there's also contrabass, there's subcontrabass, you know. Those
I'm
are
all
all
over the sound
sex.
effects because I'm not hosting the show today. So today I'm not running console on the show, so I have more time to just press buttons because I feel like
Yeah.
it.
I mean, yeah.
That's my duty. You
It's
know,
an
since I
Italian
had to
kid
do it.
eating soap.
Yeah, that's right.
Sopranino.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So you said this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, chat, and people listening at home.
No, I think you should lie to chat. Chat.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I told Silence, I was like, "You are so overworked. Take the day off. Like, take today off." And he was like, "No, I can't, because Jay DeBlay is literally one of the biggest reasons why I even started doing this show." So Jay DeBlay, I hope you appreciate that he's here, because he's actually very, he should be resting right now, okay? He should be resting right now, but no, it's Jay DeBlay's day, so he has to be on,
No, this is an important show.
Mr.
Like I said, there was a small group of people. There was a small group of people that were really part of the reason I've started the show. And obviously the show has grown a lot, and our mission and purpose has grown a lot, but Jay DeBlay is like one of the reasons I started the show. No pressure. No.
Yeah, no pressure. I'm not trying to give you pressure, but fucking appreciate it, okay?
It's not pressure. No, it's just like, I wanted to build a platform so that we could promote these artists. Like, I think Jay DeBlay is like criminally underrated.
Oh my God,
I think
Jay DeBlay
he's a dude
is so
that,
good. Like,
and not only that, I think with the changes, I've talked about this on other streams, but with the changes that Scene of Action recently made to his stream and his setup, I actually like Jay DeBlay's setup a little bit more. There are aspects of Jay DeBlay's setup I like more. Jay DeBlay has one of, if not the best production on Twitch. Like, his production is ridiculous. The amount of lighting. No, Scene of Action pours a lot of money into that, but for me, I think Scene of Action's new setup is cool, and there are cool aspects for it, but there's aspects of it I don't like as much, especially with the black backdrop. I personally like the last studio better, but I get it. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters how he leverages his studio and that kind of thing. And I'm sure over time he'll start making the changes and that kind of thing.
That was the first thing I told you, by the way, when we saw the studio. I was like, it's too dark for me, and you were like, no, it's fine. But that's not what I think.
It's not too dark. That's not the issue for me. You have a different issue than I have. You have too much of an issue. You have a different issue than me. Like, it's not too dark. It's fine. It picks up on camera.
No, it's just,
you can see all of that.
It's just a lot of black screen.
It's
black
and white.
It's just a lot of black screen. I don't mind the
black
white.
And white.
I like that.
Just constant black and white strobe. Like, I think that the issue is, again, that the way that he has his lights set up right now is that he has them set up like the old studio, where washes wouldn't have been as dramatic. But now that he has a black backdrop, the colored lights need to be doing more washes.
Yeah.
And need to be doing more stabilizing in colors, and they're mostly strobes.
So you stand Jay DeBlay right now.
I think Jay DeBlay has an amazing. He has amazing setup.
Does.
Everyone will
he
see.
Does.
Like,
you guys are gonna see. Like, Jay DeBlay is fucking like. He's so underrated.
In the competition, it doesn't have to take away from Scene of Action. Like,
of course
Scene of Action
not.
has a fucking butt ton of money in his studio and great music and all that stuff. But
of course,
yeah, but it's at the same time, I just look at it and I'm like, there are aspects of what Jay DeBlay is doing that I like.
I
more
hope
now.
so. I don't know.
Like, and For After Ever is the same, where his backdrop is black, but he's using the lighting in a way that makes the lighting pop more, that kind of thing. So that makes a big difference, I feel like.
Yeah, no, but I agree. The first time I saw Scene of Action, I was like, what the fuck? I want this. I want to do the same thing. And my music setup was very inspired by his setup too. And the first time I saw Jay DeBlay too, I was like, what the fuck? This is amazing. But what is happening? Why doesn't this stream have like 2,000 fucking viewers right now? Like, yeah. And so he didn't even have a donation button, which I was very upset about. I was like, I want to throw money.
I like how you're just lecturing Jay DeBlay now.
I want to throw money
at
this guy. I was like, I want to throw money at this guy because he's so good and his stream's so amazing, but he doesn't even have a donation button. I was so upset. I was legit upset. I was like, this is the worst thing ever.
She was legit upset.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. He did fix that right after I got yelled at, yes. No, and again, it's not taking anything away from Scene of Action. I'm sure he'll dial it in more because it's the first time in a brand new studio and that kind of thing. That's just how it goes. But for me, it used to be like Scene of Action was the bar that everybody was trying to hit. Like, everyone would try to have the type of tech and stuff that he does. But yeah, for me, Jay DeBlay has that too. But I am broke, and so I will probably never have a setup like that.
Oh, shush. You have me.
That's why my setup is what it is.
You have me, and you have my key. This is the key to success.
Yeah.
This is the key to success. Okay.
Great. I feel so much better now that I have that. Thank you.
You have me and my key, and this is the key to fucking success. Do you hear? Like,
that key doesn't work. Obviously, Code Warrior. I know. That's very true.
This key, like, it goes into the success hole, and then you turn it, and then all the success is all over you, you know?
Where is the success hole located? I would like to know where the success hole is located in the world. Could you point me towards it? Yes. We built this guy up like he's the new Elvis. There's no pressure for Jay DeBlay.
No pressure for Jay DeBlay. What are you talking? He's a professional.
No,
he
Creative
handles
Minds.
himself.
I have that. Creative Minds. I have that key. So
between your legs, I can't. Hey, baby, do you like successful? Listen, the key goes into the hole of the success
She has it.
hole.
Where's your shield? Where is your shield at this point?
It's in my living room, actually. I was actually thinking about like putting it up on the wall. Just like you said. Do you remember when where you said, like, I'm gonna buy like 10 of these shields so I can put 10 of them in, like, on the wall? Like, I thought of that, and I actually held it up to the wall. I was like, this looks pretty awesome. I kind of want to do it. You don't agree?
This.
You don't agree?
No,
you don't like that idea?
I hate this.
No?
No, I don't.
That sucks.
But you can do whatever you want. It's your place.
Do you want me to get it? I could get the shield, you know?
No, I think we're good. I just saw the shield's emote getting spammed, and I was like, oh, the issue is the shield. In 1 month, Sarah's achieved White Trash America. It's true. All she needs now is one of those wall stickers, which you can probably also get at the dollar store, that says, like, live, laugh, love. You know?
Ooh.
I live for wine. This is wine time.
Yes.
You know, this is wine country. Some basic
relax
bitch
and
shit.
what
Sarah's
is it,
pretty
like,
basic.
What?
Sarah is pretty basic.
Excuse you.
You're
I
basic.
am not
you're
basic
basic
at all. What are you talking about?
You're kind of basic. I'm just saying.
Why?
You're into basic stuff.
I'm not as complicated as
tastes.
Jay DeBlay.
No, you're not as complicated. Jay DeBlay is a tortured soul, okay? That's a man that takes all of his torture in life and puts it into his art. And
I'm not
that
tortured
person.
at all.
You're
a
person that is a meme.
my life
like
is
me.
easy.
We're meme. Well, yeah, that's good.
My life is very easy. I never have any problems because I'm pretty. Obviously, that's obviously. I am pretty. Therefore, I can't have any problems.
What's wrong with it being easy to get in the success hole? I don't understand. What's the issue? Just saying.
Listen, if your successful is very easy, then you already won. I mean,
yes, my success has not been easy. My life is not easy. Yes, your wife can make you those vinyl stickers. That's perfect. That's great. That's just what we need. I'm very excited for that. We need more basic stuff around Sarah's apartment.
Animal Crossing.
Definitely.
I want to actually, like, I've been working on that.
I want to play.
I want to play.
It's like you're gonna go
Animal
into
Crossing
it, you know?
all day. It's so good. I really like it. It's so fun.
Listen, chat. Here's the question though. I made a suggestion to Sarah. Arbor, thank you so much for that sub. I made a suggestion
Everyone
because I'm
needs
a giant
little
troll.
torture.
Wait.
Me personally, I need an AMF, but I don't have enough liquor bam
audio back out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you can't.
We need to fix that when I'm at your house.
Yeah, we need to fix that.
It's terrible.
You can fix that.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
You just are going to have to do things differently.
Yeah.
So anyway, actually big news in the music community is that, I don't know if it's Mike Shinoda or Shinoda, the guy from Linkin Park, the other guy from Linkin Park, the rap guy from Linkin Park. He's a Twitch streamer, and he started, I don't know if it's a competition or if it's just a project for fun that he's doing, but basically what he's asked is for people to give him material to produce their song. Is it Shinoda? Okay, so Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park.
I love Linkin Park.
Is doing a contest to produce someone's song. So what is required is that you give him basically a bare track of just one instrument and vocals. So my suggestion to Sarah was that she should submit Animal Crossing to Mike Shinoda's competition.
And I will.
Just strip it down and just send in Animal Crossing with just the bass. Chad, I would like to know what you think of this idea. I feel like it could you imagine Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park producing Animal Crossing? I can. I
will do that. I will actually add him once I'm done with that. Didn't have time today because I was doing some housework today.
Northbound Matt, just acoustic with the mini subs, the ukulele. Yes. Just Animal Crossing with the ukulele. I agree.
Oh my
Horrible
God.
idea. He might puke. It's possible.
He might puke, but he will
remember me. How do you know that Mike Shinoda doesn't like Animal Crossing?
Yeah. How do you know he doesn't play that? And he's like, this is a genius. Do you think he has a sense of humor?
That's what I was like. This is a genius. That'll be his feedback.
I am a genius. Yeah.
This is a genius.
Yeah. I will also like. Does he want it with a video?
No. Well, you can have. I think you do it. I think you can have a video. Most of the people that have submitted to it do have a video.
Yeah.
So I think you have to do it with a video.
I'll just take a bass, pretend that I'm playing it. Pretend that I'm playing it. Do 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 do. Animal Crossing.
That's it.
And then I'm gonna do horrible lip syncing to it.
No, and you have to introduce it. You have to introduce it like this. You have to be like, "Hi, my name is Sarah Gallitz. I am a professional jazz musician. I have played on stages with," and give like your real bio, and then do that. It'd be fucking amazing. It'd be fucking amazing. I just think that's epic.
It's basically a real life troll, just like I did for Raj, who is now Austin, but back then he was called Raj Patel, but who is now on the Austin show.
Yes.
Yeah,
this is a song about one of my favorite things.
Who watched that? Who watched that when I went on Austin's
what was
talent
the song,
show?
Though? I can't remember what it was. It was a meme song. It was a Gachi.
It was a Gachi based song.
Yeah,
it was a Gachi based song.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was really horrible. And I was like, man, this song is really important to me and it's really emotional. And, as a musician, it's really difficult sometimes to get through things. And this song always got me through things. And then it's like ass clapping sounds,
Northbound Matt, I have toured all over the country. I have seen many animals in my travels. This is the song of when they are crossing. Northbound Matt, I think you need to submit Rick the Rock now to Mike Shinoda too. We're just going to flood him with all these troll songs. It's very useful. Yeah. People will be like, yes, Music Exposed helps launch musicians and troll Mike Shinoda. So it's great.
I think I should do that. I should do a little video, and then I'm going to do like horrible lip syncing, and pretend to play a bass. Like pretend, and it's like not even the same notes. Like it's like something. I'm trying, but it's like completely. I don't even know what it is.
Yes.
I think
that'd be amazing.
Should I do like a sob story? I feel like I should do a sob story because people love sob stories. That's what is the best thing like things like.
I hate that. That is the worst thing about television now.
Right?
Like
I hate it so much.
I love trashy reality shows, and all I want to see when I'm watching them is people be assholes. But I hate watching a show like fucking Ninja Warrior or something, where it's like a dude that comes out and he's like, "Oh, well, my grandmother died last year, and I'm very sad, and I'm just going to do this for my local fire department." So I'm like, fuck off. Yes. No one cares about your fucking filler nonsense. And then what's worse about that asshole is like, I just did this for my grandmother, is he's going to fall off the first obstacle.
Yes,
he's like, all right, he's going to fall off the first one, and you're never going to see his fucking ass again. And you'd have to sit through your stupid human interest story. Yes. Just fuck off. I hate it so much.
The best that I saw on Ninja Warrior was this girl. She was like, oh, girls are normally not used to being tough, and I'm a tough girl, and I've had to go through so much shit because I do sports and whatever. And she was gone like the first thing. She was like gone. I was like, what?
It's like, this is where Wipeout gets it right, or MXC gets it right. For people who haven't watched it, I just want to see someone fall on their face, or I want to see someone who's awesome at it. That's it. Yes. There's no in between. I don't want to see anybody on the course who's mediocre. I do want to see somebody that like face plants into the warped wall and like is bleeding. Like I want that. Or I want a dude that fucking does it one-armed. That kind of thing. Like, I love that stuff. Yeah. Like, Wipeout, another amazing show. And Wipeout doesn't pull that shit. I love that. Like, I was a fan back in the day of shows like American Gladiators, and you didn't have to sit through that whole fucking human interest story. They just got to it. It's like, all right, I want to see this tiny little dude that's 5'4" go up against a 350-pound steroid freak. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see him play football against that dude and get fucking crushed. Like, that's what I want to see. I hate human interest stories on those shows. I hate it so much.
I'm gonna actually do that. Like, I'm gonna have a sob story and be like, man, the pandemic was so hard on me, especially as a musician. And I toured. I used to tour with like big, great people. People who used to play with B.B. King and record with Dr. John, etc. And people like that. And now I just, this song, I wrote the song in the pandemic, and it really got me through the hard times. And it's like,
are people leaving the show now? This show is about that, though. Like, if you wanna watch a show about that, that's different. Like, I wanna watch a show about interesting musicians. Like, that's different than I'm watching an athletic competition or I'm watching a reality show. I don't care about your story on that show. I just want to watch you be an asshole. Like, I want to watch you compete. Like, I don't want to listen to your stupid story. Like, I don't want to watch that at all.
Yeah,
I have no desire.
Do you agree that I should cry?
Oh my God.
Do you agree that I should cry a little bit? The pandemic was so hard for me.
Like, the goal is to be funny. You're legit gonna make people hate you. Like, I like that you're going that far. You're like, I'm gonna take this beyond just being a funny joke, and I'm legit gonna make people hate me. I'm gonna make musicians hate me for not taking it seriously. I'm gonna then mock people who had problems in the pandemic. I love it. It's a great idea. I'm sure it'll do very well for you. And then she would complain that people don't like her. Very true.
Maybe I shouldn't.
That's true, Bazzy.
I mean, maybe I... Listen, you are the one who told me, Sarah, you used to not care, not give a shit, and just troll people.
I agree.
Maybe I should go back to that and not care about, like, if people hate me or not. Because,
But that's the thing. I don't know that you can do that because you do care that people hate you. If you legit didn't care... Now, again, with certain things, I think you don't care, but I think with certain things you do now. But self-promo in the middle of the song.
Oh my God,
stop in the middle of Animal Crossing and be like, visit my website at sarahjazz.com.
And get 10% off on
of your G
Adam
Fuel
and Eve
order.
Or G Fuel or something.
Yes.
Or your honey.
I love it.
Get your honey now for free with code SarahJazz. By Nintendo. This song was sponsored by Razer. By PlayStation.
Razor.
Oh my God! Imagine.
Rain Shadow Legends. Yes, totally. Yes, I agree.
I like that. I kind of want to write all of that down. Just excuse me. I have some
she needs
stuff
to write
here.
the actual idea.
Silver, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Thank you. Oh my God! Wait. It green screens. Wait, it green screens the tree. What the hell?
If did you chroma key the whole scene and not just the camera? That's probably why. Something's green and anything.
I love that. Okay, you talk to them. I'm gonna write this down. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, I like this. I think this idea is hilarious. Like, well, and I'm a person that, here's what I want to see more of. I don't think that anybody that wants to do this is bad or wrong, but I feel like a lot of people are counting on like one big break, or they're trying to like acclimate themselves to what other people want. And to me, it's like most of the most legendary artists or people that, are inspirational to others or really are trailblazing are people that do what the fuck they want. Like, they find their voices as artists. They produce in the way they want to produce. They work with who they want to work with. And I think that too many people hope that like someone can point them in the right direction. And the issue with that is the more that you start to change yourself based on what you think people will like or what you think people want, the worse off you are. And even if you are successful from doing that, if you are successful by changing yourself into something that the people want, you will be far less satisfied with it. Like, it won't be what you wanted to do. Most people will change themselves too much to be able to do that. Sound Art Composer, thanks so much for that follow.
Thank you so much.
A lot of people aren't authentic anymore. They just try to appease to people because they're afraid of backlashes. Totally agree with that. I will never be that. I just don't care enough about what people think to let that impact me.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's a good opportunity,
and
though.
most of the time, go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay.
I think it's a good opportunity, though, like, that he's giving. Like, I think it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
pretty cool. Like, if I was a big musician and you know, and had the contacts and stuff, I would also, like, probably be like, hey, I want to, you know, produce somebody new or have, like, forward you to the important people. But is it like a fast way to fame? Obviously not. I mean,
I don't think, okay, well, fast way to fame. All right, let's just keep in mind, and this is, you know, he's the other guy from Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Linkin Park's last hit song was what, in 2010? It's not taking off against him. I think it's fucking amazing what he's doing. But what bothers me is there will be people who come out and they're like, I've been a fan of Linkin Park all along. Or they write music that is legit nothing like what Linkin Park did or his previous work or any of that stuff. It's like, if you are a rock musician or you're any kind of musician and you care about your songwriting voice, you should want to work with people who created work that's inspirational to you.
Of
or
course.
Work that you're like, listen, I want to work with that guy. Like for me, I could tell you there's a few people in my brain that if I got the opportunity to work with them, like if I got the opportunity to work with Butch Vig, or I got the opportunity to work with Trent Reznor, or I got the opportunity to work with people like that, Alan Fletcher, which he's basically retired from the business, I would want to do that because those are people that have created music that inspires me and that influences me, and that's the kind of thing. Casey Crescenzo, for sure. I don't know if I would want to work with Casey, though, because Casey's kind of an auteur. Like, and maybe I'm wrong with that, and I would need to do that, but, like, I love his work, and it's hugely inspirational for me, but I don't know what a working relationship with him would look like, because he's produced some artists, but he's very... You want to work with Trainwrecks? Okay, have fun with that.
Have fun, Bazzy.
But as a musician, like you should focus who you want to work with around people that you feel are compatible with your songwriting voice.
I agree.
I think, again, a lot of the people that are submitting to that thing and are part of it are doing it, and it's like, is this even somebody that, like, would you really want to work with him? Like, is there something that he's produced or done?
Yes, thank you
and again,
so
this
much.
is where I don't know Mike Shinoda that well, so I don't know what he produces. And again, this is not a knock against Mike Shinoda. I would do the same fucking thing. Like for me, but I would give it with the caveat of you should be doing something in the genre, or you should enjoy my music in a way that you feel like the creative voice that I would bring to it would help you. And maybe he did that.
I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
I didn't watch
he
it. Maybe
produced
he
a few people that are completely different from. But I'm, for example,
Probably.
I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. Like Linkin Park, I've listened to Linkin Park since I was a teenager, and I really love Linkin Park. It was very, very sad when Chester passed away because, you know, it was like a huge part of my childhood / teenage time. But my music that I do has nothing to do with the type of music that they do.
Yeah.
So if
Right.
I actually like you know, adding him and
every
being like,
Linkin Park song ever, then Sarah. Yes.
yeah, like I don't like that makes no sense. Like it makes no sense to go like with what does it feel like, or I don't know, like my jazz songs or something. Be like, hey, dude, like this is totally something you would enjoy. Like I wouldn't. But of course, people. But this is the thing. Of course, people are gonna try to get his attention because people want recognition for their work, and a lot of us artists feel like we don't get a lot of recognition. So, you know, of course they're going to add him because it's
But again,
it's also for
trying to get
free.
recognition.
You know, it's for free. You don't have to pay
trying
anything.
to get recognition. I don't
Cypher,
think
thank
again,
you so
listen,
much. Thank you for the
The
resub.
purpose of
New
this is not
Happy
to.
New Year,
The
by
purpose
the
of
way.
this is not to shit on what he's doing. It's not a
Of
bad
course.
idea. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the artists who are submitting to it. But I think that people who actually want to be successful as songwriters need to focus first on developing their own songwriting voice. Like the key to success is putting in the time and putting in the effort to develop your songwriting voice over time, which is a difficult thing, and it takes shit tons of work, and it takes lots of time, and you're going to write lots of shitty songs and stuff that isn't quite what you want. Like, you have to go through that process, and it doesn't fucking matter who you're producing with at this point. If you don't know what your voice is when you're bringing to the table, it's going to be difficult to work with anybody. And I think a lot of people who are spending time on that, who are just doing it to clout chase, and B,
Yes.
haven't put in that work, that's a different thing. And that's where I'm like, it won't be, that's where the old man wisdom comes in of, I've spent plenty of time in my life, and I'm sure you have, chasing down paths or chasing down things that ultimately were not gratifying. They were ultimately not satisfying to me. I thought they would be, because everybody has that story in their head of, oh, if I only had this, like you said, if I only had recognition for this thing, then it would be so much better. I would be so much better. For some people, maybe that's true, because maybe their ambition is just, I want to get big, and they don't really care about having a distinct songwriting voice.
Yeah,
and
there's
they don't
a lot
care
of people
that.
like that who want that,
Yeah, for sure. There's people who just want to be famous for famous' sake.
Yeah, who are just waiting for a producer to notice them or a manager or something, and then they get famous and they don't really care about
that doesn't
their
even
music
exist.
that
Doesn't
much.
even exist anymore. That's a model that's 20 years old. Like that, the label is gonna break me shit hasn't existed in 20 years. So, like, to me, I'm honest to people with that the old school music industry,
thank you so
if
much.
I only get discovered, it's going to be the key to my success, doesn't exist anymore. In fact, to even get a record label deal anymore, which is probably a bad thing for 99% of artists, you already had to have spent years building up a following. You have to have all the pieces in place. You have to have previous work. You have to have all that stuff. Like, signed to a label and you too. You know, that model is dead, though. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Even signing to a label doesn't mean anything. I actually, what you're saying, like, I had a producer who wanted to work with me, and the insights on that industry is really interesting, because you as the artist, you don't even know if you're still in. Labels will, and this might be news for a lot of you, labels will sign, let's say, 100 artists who already have a following, who already are, bigger on social media, and they will just immediately sign them. And from those 100, they basically make like tests. And from those 100, who are the people that get like the 5 bands / the 5 artists who get more listens with their label, with their, the album that they made with the label. And then from those 5, they will pick one. And that one, they continue working with that artist, and then they will actually promote them and, put money into that. The other 99 artists are fucked, and nobody ever talks to them again. But the artists don't even know this yet. Like, they just put out the album with the label, maybe like 2 weeks in. They're already news from yesterday for the label and for the industry, but the artists don't know it because they, in comparison to the other 99 or the other 100, they failed, basically. So it's very cutthroat.
But even that doesn't really exist in the same way anymore. Like, the music industry has changed so much, even in the last 20 years in particular. But in the last 10 years,
like this is
that,
like
that doesn't exist the same anymore.
Something.
Nowadays, the contracts are even more predatory to the artists with the 360 deals, since that became a thing. And basically, you should never, the only time as an artist you should be looking at a label is when you're ready to make a jump and you have the data and you have the following and you have the stats behind you, that getting a label infrastructure, their PR infrastructure and their marketing and their networking and those kinds of things, is actually going to benefit you. And a great case study for that, which this is a dated one too, because this is a dated one, is Green Day. Green Day was you can go back and look at their story. They refused to sign to a major label until it was time for them to make that jump so that they could negotiate favorable deals, so that they knew that their next album was basically going to be a guaranteed success, which it was. Yeah. And so that is the best way to play. But again, that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. These days, it's basically a celebrity-driven business, and most of the people that are making it big or that are major artists in the Billboard 100 anymore are pre-existing commodities. They're known commodities. They're Disney stars, they're child stars, they're, artists that have been around forever. And you can see that more and more, that the major music industry as a whole, there's been a massive sea change in that. Now, again, the artist still gets screwed. So it's like, in any of these scenarios, the artist just always gets screwed. That's just how it is at this point.
Wartak, thank you so much.
That doesn't exist anymore, is the thing. So these days, what exists, there's the sea change that exists with things like Twitch and like what we do on this show, and what my ideal is that obviously the power is more in the hands of the artists now than ever before. Now, that's a good and a bad thing, because if you're an artist, you're in charge of your own destiny, which means if you want to be a successful artist, you've got to learn these things. You got to learn video, you got to learn social media, you got to learn Twitch, you got to learn live streaming, you got to learn YouTube, you got to learn algorithms, you got to know all these things that are beyond just write good music and produce good music. And write and produce good music is something that can take a lifetime to master anyway. Most people who broke it big and are legendary artists spent years and years and years building up their craft of being musicians and songwriters. So that makes it even more difficult. Yeah, it's totally exhausting. But the advantage of that is there's far more of an opportunity for independent artists to break through. Is it guaranteed? Of course it isn't. But you can actually, as an independent artist, work your way up and own your stuff. Like, you can own your stuff and you can own the sales and you can make more revenue, and that's a good thing. And that was something that didn't exist because a lot of artists who signed to labels back in the day, like you said, those 99 artists actually ended up upside down. They ended up owing money to the labels. They ended up losing money signing deals, as opposed to now, if you can build up that following and you can do those things, you can sell that music direct and make a lot more money selling 1,000 copies of something as opposed to selling 100,000 copies on a major label deal. It just makes a huge difference. And you're not giving away a cut. So it makes a big difference to artists. But the long and short of it...
You always give away a cut, you know?
Well, yeah, you always do. Well,
I mean, they also promote you. They also, put a lot of money in. But obviously, it's for them, it's always a winning winning business.
The house always wins.
Yeah,
the house always wins. And they're investing in you. Well, and as an independent artist, you're giving away a cut too. Because once you hit a certain level of success as an independent artist, you need a team. You need a publicist. You need a social media person. You need distribution. You need graphic artists. You need video editors. You need all those types of things. Like, you need that to be successful. You are essentially a small business as an independent artist now. So you got to have all those things covered, sales and marketing and those kinds of things. And again, it's great for people that are more entrepreneurial and that understand that and that look at themselves as a business and a commodity and that kind of thing. For those of you that look at that, there's a great deal in there. But for the vast majority of artists and the vast majority of people, let's be honest, the vast majority of people will not succeed in an entrepreneurship environment. They will not. The statistics bear it out, and the average person is not great at being an entrepreneur. So that is unfortunate, and it sucks. And that's why that's why we care about building a venue for this type of thing.
What are you talking about?
I didn't say that you weren't. You have actually succeeded. You already know that you're in the top.
I'm kidding.
You're in the top 1% of Twitch, dude. Like, you already live the. You are, like, it's not you wish, you are in the top 1% of Twitch. Like, that's the reality. You're living the dream that 99% of streamers don't get to live. Like, making it full time is what the vast majority of streamers are trying to do. Like, that's their goal, and you've been doing it for over a year. So that's just how it is. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you need several lives.
No, it's not top 20%. It's top 1%.
You do, yeah.
Like, if you want to look it up, go to Twitch Tracker. You are well past the top 1%. If you have more than 5 average viewers, you are in the top 1% of Twitch.
That is very true,
Everyone's perception is skewed of what successful is, and they don't have an idea of what the industry looks like. That is not false. That is true. If you have more than 5 average viewers, you are in the top 1% of Twitch.
I mean, because there's a million streamers that stream to nobody,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing, though. This is the issue with the whole fucking industry, is to actually make real money. To actually make real money, you don't have to be in the top 1%. You have to be in the top 0.01%.
Yeah.
Like, to make 6
crazy.
figures, you have to be 1 in a million, which is fucking ridiculous. And so that's what's terrible, is that to succeed, you have to be so far beyond exceptional that it's ridiculous, which again is an issue with the industry. It's not the issue with,
that is very true.
In most industries, 20 to 30% of businesses will survive and make a living wage. And that's what the music industry is so fucked up and predatory, and has been for so long, that people think that it's normal. People think that it's normal for the artist to get fucked. People think that it's normal for artists not to make a living wage. And one of the big crises in the industry that nobody really talks about. Well, now people are definitely going to talk about it. With COVID has shifted the whole conversation because it accelerated everything that was already happening in the industry. The fact that middle-class musicians were dying, people that made a living wage, not millionaires, but there was a healthy class of middle-class musicians who made anywhere from like $50,000 to $150,000 a year, a comfortable living, and that kind of thing. People that could do that are now in horrible shape since there hasn't been an entertainment industry for a year, other than live streaming, which live streaming is up and down at this point. So
thank you.
Now
Warrior.
you're going to see that conversation accelerate a lot, I think, and that's a good thing. My hope is that these predatory companies and contracts and all those types of things and the ability for musicians to make revenue will hopefully increase. Now, again, that's an optimistic perspective. The reality is probably that it won't. And a lot of these people will stop being musicians, which is incredibly unfortunate. But, the hope is that you will see a shift in this conversation. And you're already seeing it because there's a whole industry. There's a whole industry of people that have been impacted by COVID. And there's a whole industry of people behind the musicians and behind successful people. And that's something I love talking about this. Thank you, Cafe Sparrow. I appreciate that. And I know Sarah does too. Sarah knows a ton about this industry, and that's pretty much why we talk about it, because we both have experience in it. I have family that are professional musicians and have been for years, and my sister is also a professional, but she is a lighting and stage design tech. So she does lighting and sound and helps design stages for musicians to come perform.
Just very interesting.
She's not had a job for a year because of COVID.
Yeah.
She's had to, basically, like everybody else in the industry, sit on the sidelines and fucking hope that the industry comes back.
I mean, I would be fucked. Like if it wasn't for Twitch and I would still live off of gigs, I would be actually fucked. Like
I noticed that J. has not joined the call. Can someone that's in his chat page him and tell him he's not on the call?
Page him.
Continue.
Page him.
Someone page J. Dublé.
Somebody
let him know to get on the call.
J. Dublé, please. Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, so it would have been very, very horrible for me. I mean, the year was already difficult for me last year, but it would have been even worse because I wouldn't have had gigs. Like I didn't have gigs, obviously, and I want
to speak to what Canadian Arctic Wolf is talking about, because he talked about the Rammstein thing, and now he's talking about the ticket prices, which ticket prices, again, you have to consider, where does the money from ticket prices go? And most people think, oh, I buy a ticket to a concert and that money goes to the artist. Actually, the artist is the last in line when you buy a concert ticket. Even though they make the bulk of the revenue for the concert, where does that money go? A huge percentage of it goes to the venue. The venue gets that. And why does the venue get it? Because generally, it depends on the act, but generally, the venue gets it because they are paying for sound techs, they are paying for lighting, they are paying for gear, they are paying for humans that work on the show and that kind of thing. So they have to pay those people. Some tours, obviously, some musicians hire those things themselves. Rammstein, a larger act, would hire their own thing themselves. They pay for everything, vendors, everything that they're saying. So a big portion of that goes to the venue. Then if the artist has any people working with them, like management, roadies, guitar techs or instrument techs, any of that stuff, then they're paying out a portion of that too. So the artist is always last in line at this point.
That is very
outdoor
true.
festivals are best, but outdoor festivals require huge amounts of people to run them. They require people to set up the stage, the sound, the lights, to manage the artists, to coordinate all those things.
Nowadays, like shows are crazily produced. But we have J. Dublé now, who is ready to perform. And I am very, very, very excited to show him to you guys. I'm very excited that you guys can finally see him if you haven't yet, because he's fucking amazing. And I present to you guys J. Dublé!
Spare me now the lies. I can take no more. I'm drowning in this life. I have no more to give. Take our loneliness and our rage. Treat our poverty like cageless slaves. Drown the emptiness to pass the days. I have the hope that we can change our ways. Spare me now the lies. I can take no more. I'm drowning in this life. I have no In the end, we have all torn ourselves to shreds. How it felt in the wind. Now it takes all our will to carry ourselves. And I will never know how to feel the sound of thunder in my ears. Now alone, I feel the truth can burn. Underground, the skin can still feel and tear. I will shiver and make my way to the grave. Can we listen in? Suppose we're all dead to tongues. Or are we all written sorted? One line answer on tombstones preserved without another verse. Oh, oh,
Please follow Jaded Blay.
Yes.
If you guys don't follow him. One of my favorite streamers on Twitch, and Winter's Epitaph, the second song he played, is legit one of my favorite songs.
It really
right now.
is, yes.
He is
So
one
good.
of the best streamers on Twitch right now.
Thank you so
Incredible.
much, Jaded Blay,
And hit
for the raid.
and,
I really appreciate that.
And so hit that Discovery song.
Let's
hit
go.
it.
Okay, let's go. Hit it off.
Music Exposed Discovery Bulletin Board. For those of you, as always, thank you guys so much to all of you that contribute to this week after week. This week I will be covering actually 2 weeks of Discovery since we took some time off and for the holidays, and since we knew that people really wouldn't be watching through that. And so I've got 2 weeks of Discoveries for you. The bulletin board is tremendously important to us, so make sure that if you like to support original artists and original songwriting, please give it a like, please give it a retweet on Twitter where I share it. Check out all the musicians at musicexposed.show, which is where this bulletin board is posted. And everyone that is on this bulletin board, you will find if you're watching this on YouTube, all the links are right under the video, so you can go listen to all these songs. It is on our homepage for a month at musicexposed.show. And if you're watching it on the episodes page from the Music Exposed website, you will see that all of the different links and all the different artists are there. So you can find their Twitch channels or their YouTube channels, and you can find the links through to the songs forever. So new this week, what do we have on the bulletin board? We have a new song from Leah Menaker, twitch.tv/Leah Menaker. Her new single is called Bubble. And again, all these links are available at musicexposed.show. We have a new single that just dropped from Linny Official. It is actually a collab with Mime and GT Office and Linny. It's called Young Hearts. That is available for pre-saving right now, so make sure you check that out. And then Venus, which a lot of you know, twitch.tv/Venus World. She just dropped a new video that is called Swath of Stars. That is up on YouTube. And again, you can find that at musicexposed.show. And then over the holidays, we had some amazing new releases. Our great friend, Alice the Little Alien, dropped her new single, twitch.tv/Alice the Little Alien. Her new single is called 2020 Vision, and it is a banger, so make sure you go check that out. Blue Skies, twitch.tv/BlueSkies75, just dropped a new single that's called Is It Worth It? So you can go get that on your favorite streaming service. Again, find those links at musicexposed.show. Other Glow, what? Is it worth it?
Yes. Is it though?
Yes, duh. And then another great friend of the show, Otherglow, twitch.tv/Otherglow, dropped another one of his singles, Nothing But the Best, that came out over the holidays, so go check that out. Lynx, twitch.tv/Lynx Music, that's LLYNKS Music, just dropped their new single that's called Alive. And finally, we have a new album from Frances Bennigan, twitch.tv/Frances Bennigan Live, which is called With Love Franny. That is an entire album that is available up on her Bandcamp and streaming services. So, Leah Menaker, Mime and GT Office and Linny, Venus, Alice Little Alien, Blue Skies, Otherglow, Lynx, and Frances Bennigan. That is your Music Exposed bulletin board
so
for this
many
week.
friends! So many friends!
Music Exposed.
Music Exposed.
Please go
Discovery.
check that out. We spend a ton of time putting that together every week, getting all the art, getting all the links. Huge thanks.
You spend a lot of time.
Thank you. Okay, yes.
Don't say we, because I have nothing to do with the bulletin board. I don't have anything to do with the bulletin board. Like, I have nothing to do with that.
Yes, but it's huge.
I'm not the nice person here.
Shut up. That is not true. I'm going to teach you how to do it when I'm in Germany, so you will learn how to do it too. Thanks to everybody that contributes to it. And if you hear of new streamer releases or new things we need to know about, or you're releasing something yourself and you're a streamer, please let me know. You can send that to me on Twitter. You can send it to me in Discord DMs. And I have a few of you that are super reliable with it, like Glasswegian. He's the MVP of the bulletin board. He gives me new releases every single week.
So
and
awesome.
then I watch stuff and I keep, as Sarah will vouch, since she's been in bed with me, she will see me in bed at night looking at Twitter, saving links for people when I see them. I save the links, and
I
she
also
sees me
see
doing
you
all that,
watching
so.
TikToks.
What's wrong with that? What?
Which is why the song "Your Only Fan" came out. By the way, have you covered that? Have we covered that? Your Only Fan?
Have I covered my own song?
Yeah.
How do you cover your own song?
No, have you covered that on the bulletin board? That's what I'm asking.
Of course I did. It's on the bulletin board.
Oh, okay.
Stuff. So for our stuff,
Just
our
asking,
new releases stay up on the website. So at the bottom of the bulletin board, you will always see our latest releases there. And so Your Only Fan is there. The Instrumentals album is there, as well as Twist of a Friendly Knife. Those are always up on the bulletin board. And you can always find our latest music at thesilencenoise.com. And I'm working with Sarah to get sarahjazz.com up and running. But at sarahjazz.com, you can also go get Your Only Fan and some other links to her stuff there. So sarahjazz.com, thesilencenoise.com. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And also, we now have Jay DeBlay on the call, and I'm very excited. Jay DeBlay, hi!
What's up? How you doing?
Hi. We're good. How are you?
J. Dublé was into that performance.
Yes.
Into it. I love it.
I am tired. That's it's a little warm in here right now.
Oh yeah, I like
Yes, I can
also
imagine.
how you're just forever just frozen. I like that. That's really good.
Oh no, did he freeze on? We're having some sort of
He
issue.
did. I don't know why we're
what's
having
going
this
on.
issue though. Yeah, I don't understand.
It's really
I don't
exciting. I
understand.
don't know what's
I don't understand. Okay. I understand.
It's
Okay.
exciting. It's always
very
exciting.
It'll be a fun
yeah.
slideshow.
Yes, fun tech stuff. This only happens to Sarah, which is the sad part. It doesn't happen on my end. It only happens to Sarah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
What
On
are
your
you trying
end,
to say
it's-
there, Silence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
that I'm
it's-
laggy?
I legit have no idea what it is. Like
Yeah.
it's just it stops on her side. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had all sorts of fun tech stuff today since Sarah's getting reacclimated to her studio. So
Yeah, we had a lot of
Fun
fun
tech things going on.
technological things today, which obviously I'm very techie.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yes, we're gonna edit the VOD. We brought that up. We're gonna edit the VOD because we were having issues with the audio during the performance for some reason. So we gotta
Yes.
fix that.
Oh,
We
weird.
always do that for the podcast to make sure that we get the best possible performance, which is always exciting. Don't know why it is, but I guess I'm timed out in
Yeah,
chat. Bye, guys.
one of the mods has. I have to time you out actually.
Yeah, because I'm.
Anyways,
a mod,
while
so
I'm doing that, please ask the first question.
please ask J. Dublé questions.
Yeah.
So tell us about your studio setup because I met J. Dublé for the first time almost 2 years ago. You're one of the very first streamer friends that I met and discovered back when you were playing in a totally different studio. You were like you still had awesome lights and stuff, but you were in like a cubby in the office. So tell us about the process of putting this
Sure.
studio together. First of all, where is your studio?
My
And
studio
tell
is-
us a little bit about it.
Sure, my studio is just in like a little den area in the house that I live in. So the whole story, it's kind of this weird thing. So in 2019, like right around March, I was hanging out with my friend Jeremiah, and I took a fall skateboarding and I broke my hip. And
Ooh.
I had to get like massive surgery, couldn't walk for a couple months. I was like, butt sliding downstairs and had to like relearn how to walk again. So actually, when you met me, Silence, I was not off of the cane yet and I couldn't fully walk. So when I was streaming, what I would do is
jeez.
I would just like lean really hard on my right leg so that I could survive through the performance.
Oh my
and then like as soon as
God.
stream
Oh
was
my
over,
God.
I had a cane hiding under my piano that I would grab and get back on.
It's terrible.
And because of like life circumstances, I was sort of there by myself. So I was being really, really stupid and like climbing up ladders and mounting lights and trying to do things while I was like putting my cane next to me so I could hope that I didn't fall.
Oh
And,
my God. I had
hurt
no idea that
myself.
was a thing. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
so then as things progressed throughout the year, unfortunately, anyone who's been to my stream would know my brother Darth Radius. He streams with me pretty often. As I was recovering from my hip surgery, he was diagnosed with cancer. And so because of that, about October of 2019, I moved into his house with him to kind of help, with the day-to-day stuff and just kind of help him have some stuff to do. And so we started building this new studio here in his house. And it was just kind of the perfect room, and it had like this, it's got another room like slightly off to the side where I was able to build a server rack, and I just had all this tech that had been sitting around for years. So I was like, well, why not just like go all out and build the stupidest thing I can think of?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it's not stupid. It's crazy, like how much stuff you have and how crazy that studio is. It's like we were saying before you were on. I feel like in some ways, like I was somebody that when I first saw Scene of Action stream, I was just like, I should quit. Like, I'm never gonna be able to do this. This is ridiculous. This is insane amounts of money. J. Dublé was a guy who looked at it and is like, I can do that. And now you're like at that level. It's insane to watch how crazy your setup has become. I'm just like, why do I even do this? Like, yes, your setup is among the. It's definitely top 3 on Twitch for me. with all the
Yeah,
stuff
for
that you
sure,
have.
for
It's
sure.
insane. It's insane.
Yeah, it's funny
Yeah.
because you bring up Scene of Action a lot, but the funny
Yeah.
thing to me is that like I've probably only watched his stream once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've checked out a couple of his YouTube videos, but I've never really delved that deep into his stuff. The thing for me is when I met you is Silence is also when I met Otherglow and For After
Yeah.
Ever. And I kind of feel like there's been a bit of this like arms race between me, Otherglow, and For After Ever that we've been
Yes,
just
for
kind of
sure.
like, we've been talking to each other and like we've given each other tips on how to get gear for cheap and whatever. But there's definitely been this kind of like streamer arms race between the three of us.
It is
which
true. All
has been
3 of
fun.
you have crazy,
Yeah.
amazing streams. Meanwhile, me, I'm just like, I'm poor. How do I do this? Because I'm ghetto. All I have is a green screen and I can't buy lights. And of course, as a musician, I'm looking at all this and I'm like, all right, I don't have a choice. I can't do that. So I'm like, I have to just find ways to be innovative because I can't do that. So everything for me is just time put in. But yes, I totally agree. The three of you, in the 2 years that I've known you, the stream, for those who want to know, if you want to know how to stream like us, the place to be is Otherglow's Discord. So if you don't follow Otherglow, twitch.tv/Otherglow. The Stream Tech channel on Otherglow's Discord is the nerdiest place on the internet. So if you're like,
I'm not there, so I don't know.
So if you want to know the true answers of like, where do I buy this, or how do I do this? All of us nerds hang out in the Stream Tech channel and Otherglow's Discord, and that's where we all are. So yes, if you are not part of that, and you're like, how do I figure out XYZ? It's the Stream Tech channel and Otherglow's Discord. I have a little bit of it in mine, but yeah, that's where you need to go. That's where you need to be.
That's one thing I've really liked about the community of the people that I've met on this, though, is that there's, at least with the people I've become friends with, there's no like, secrecy behind closed doors or trying to hold back. Like everybody is super open and friendly about like, here's how to do it, and hey, why don't I just remote it and help you figure it out? Like, it's a really cool community in that regard, and it's been, it's helped grow exponentially in a way because and it's funny, I was actually in Scene of Action stream like a week ago when he was doing a little bit of his tech show, like how he does things. And he talked about like how when he was learning lighting, he would just have to get into like shitty Facebook groups and like deal with like tons of shit posting and just tons of garbage. And that was exactly what learning lights was like for me. It was just a bunch of banging my head against the wall trying to figure anything out. And having anybody to be like, hey, how does this work? And they're like, oh, you press this one button. You're like, oh, of course.
Yes. And that is true. I tell people all the time, and I know I'm talking about myself a lot, which is annoying, but at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't have had a stream if it wasn't for that. Because for me, when I started, I legit knew nothing. I knew, my sister is a professional lighting designer, so I could ask her a lot of questions and be like, how do you do this and that? But when it came to streaming, and this is the thing I notice more and more, there is no guide for it. No. And especially because every stream is unique. Like, all of us want different things. Like, we have a vision for, like, all right, I perform this type of music. I want it to look this way. I want it to be this thing. And so even the fundamentals are not the same across streams. Like, people use different DAWs. People use different, like, Sarah uses Streamlabs OBS. I use regular OBS. Right. Some people, you use vMix now, which is like, everybody's using different stuff to create all their different stuff. And there's so few places to go where it's just like, all right, I want to do this. And you'll get like, and again, I cannot thank Otherglow and 4 After Ever and you and enough for like, all right, go to the Stream Tech channel, post a question there, and you'll have 65 answers in a few minutes. It's like, you could do it this way, or you could do it this way, or you could do it this way. And it's like, okay, great. Now I figure it out based off of that. It's crazy.
Right. You know, I think like the two most interesting things that I wasn't expecting was like, there might be a guide of like how to get your computer set up, where it's like, now you're stepping up and having a 2-computer setup. But then like, I was like, what if I had a 10-computer setup? Yeah. And you get arrogant and you're like, oh, I'll do all of these things. And then the computers show up, you build them and you put them in the rack and nothing works. And I spent 2 months just swearing at a wall, wondering why shit won't work. Yes. So that's frustrating. And then the other thing that was a big hurdle, and this is probably the thing that was most helpful having friends on Twitch to talk about, is what's different about Twitch from any other typical situation is everything we do is these weird hacky automation schemes. Yes. We have to come up with some way of pretending like we have somebody sitting at the lighting console pressing the buttons. Pretending like we have somebody switching cameras. And it just ends up being this very like... it's so completely opposite of playing live shows. I can't even like describe what it is.
Yes, exactly. Well, and like you said, most of the stuff that we're doing is stuff that was developed by dudes in their basement. So like, for example, my core plugins, like the things that are vital to my show, one of which is designed by a programmer in Germany. It's just a dude that started it as like a project. He actually hangs out in my stream. It cracks me up. The dude that programmed MIDI to OBS hangs out in my stream sometimes because he's like, I cannot believe you do this with that plugin. Like every time he's there, he's like, how did you come up with this with that plugin? Right. And then like the way you send audio between the different computers, or the way that you're like, all right, how do you do this? It's all just random dudes. Like 4 After Ever programmed a script that I've used on my stream since day one for song titles. You do it a different way. I know we're talking about inside stuff, but I think when you watch Jay Dublay's stream, it's so important because I know a million people are gonna be like, how does he do that?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's all done with anything that could literally break anytime. Like a Windows update happens. Yes,
Dude,
all
Windows
the time.
updates are the
I
bane
like
of my
how you
existence.
say it breaks every time and you freeze. I love
Yes.
that.
I'll need to freeze him.
Perfect.
Yes, perfect.
Perfect.
I love that.
We need to ask. Maybe I'm wondering if this is a Streamlabs OBS thing.
I
I'm
have
wondering
no
if it's
idea,
slobs.
actually.
God, that's annoying.
That's so annoying. I'm
because
so
it's
sorry,
something
guys.
with the browser source.
Yeah, I'm so
No, it's
sorry.
okay. Well, and Sarah's dealing with it. Like, Sarah's in our world right now. I feel so bad for her because she's in our world right now because her studio got rebuilt while she was gone. And
Yeah.
they made it so much more efficient. Like, if you're not on Sarah's Patreon, patreon.com/SarahJazz, she posted pictures like, while she was here in America, her family went in and rebuilt her whole studio. They optimized the whole thing. They like rebuilt the desk. They put the lights in different places. They moved everything around. And so now she's in the hell of like, okay, well now this isn't working like it's supposed to. And this isn't the way that it's supposed to be doing. And I haven't been at this console in 2 months. It's the worst feeling. It is
Yeah.
the worst feeling. I
It is.
cannot say it enough how fucking annoying it is.
I would describe a lot of how we accomplish some of this stuff, and we've talked about this before, Silence, is duct
Yeah.
tape. That's what
Yeah,
we're
it
doing
is.
here.
Yes.
Duct tape.
Yes.
Like to explain one, like for me to be able to control everything from like my instruments and not have to like walk over to my computer every time, I need to be able to like remote into my computer. But
Yes,
my MacBook
same.
can't do that. So what I have to do is I have like a virtual machine that runs my keyboard. So I use my MacBook to browser remote into the virtual machine and then use that to VNC into my actual computer. So I have this like remote control, like, you know, circle jerk just to be able to control anything.
Yes.
It's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sarah. I've dominated with the tech talk, Sarah.
That's
Go ahead.
okay. I actually now that we talked so much about this, do you ever get annoyed at people comparing you to Scene of Action?
You know,
You mean
it's
silence noise comparing you to Scene of Action?
Yes, and other people, of
Yeah.
course.
I mean, obviously, the Scene of Action has like an amazing quality stream, and he's also like a great writer and a great musician. So being compared to somebody like that is never something you
Yeah.
could take offense to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, of course.
I think he's like well known as being one of the like a high production streamer, and so being compared
Yeah.
to that feels a bit to me like, you know, like maybe I'm on my way to getting where I want to be. It's a good feeling, not a bad one. I don't hate the comparison at all. With that being said, I think like stylistically, he and I couldn't be more different in a way.
I agree. I
Like,
agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, like he has a very like I don't want to say defined, but he has a very like he has a voice and a very like a worked out genre that he plays in. Not to say that he doesn't have like uniqueness or creativity, but like I know Scene of Action sound, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And me, I'm likely to, you know, do a lo-fi jazz cover and then play some death
Yes.
metal. Like I'm so off the map that I feel like that is probably one of my biggest deterrents to growing my channel.
Could be. I you know, we talk about this a lot because it's the sucky part about, you know, the business side of Twitch, which is the numbers and that kind of thing, is like most people want you to be a thing. Like that's
Yeah.
just the reality in the world. Like most people want you to be like, oh, you're this. It's like Sarah Jazz plays jazz.
Exactly.
Yeah,
know,
and
and
I
when you
rarely
don't
play jazz anymore
yeah.
on my channel because
Right.
nobody listens to jazz and nobody requests jazz anymore, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'll...
And hey, we're in the same boat in a lot of ways because nobody listens to rock music in the United States anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that's so exciting about coming to Europe for me is like Europe still has a lot of rock fans and rock bands and there's an active rock scene. And it's much more underground here in the US. Like the metal and rock scenes have been dying over the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's like nowadays rock is the underground. Rock is the new jazz in a lot of ways in the US of like what was cool about rock. Like I don't know. I just watched the third season of Cobra Kai, which if you haven't watched Cobra Kai and you like the
Pretty good.
Karate Kid movies, go watch fucking Cobra Kai. But it cracks me up because anybody that's like us, that's a rock fan, we're kind of the Johnny Lawrences of the world in the movie of like, hell yeah, this 20-year-old song. And then I'm like, the song I'm listening to right now is 30 years old. I'm like, fuck my life. Literally, fuck my life. It's just
Yeah.
insane. But
You know-
so I wanted to ask you, because we asked a lot about the tech and that kind of thing, but one of the things that stands out to me and part of the reason I'm so excited to have you here is I love your eclectic taste, and I love that you're all over the place. And your songwriting is at a level that I think very few people on Twitch can even touch. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Thank you.
How did you start writing songs, and how did that become Dusk's Embrace? Like, how did that project come to be? And obviously now I want you to speak to this too as you go through it, because I know you're changing now and you're kind of going in different directions. But how did you kind of get into songwriting, and how did that become a thing for you?
Sure. I think a big part of it was that, when I was younger and I picked up a guitar, I never had lessons. I've never, for almost anything I've done, I've never had any like real formal training aside from some of the computer tech work from jobs. And I think a big part of it comes into just like needing something to play when you're younger, because if you don't have somebody to teach you, then you scrap for what you can off of crappy tabs on the internet, and then you start making your own stuff, because what else are you going to do? You can't learn anything else. It's too, like, music is one of those things that there's so much to it that learning it on your own it's like trying to learn how to speak English without somebody to talk to, it's almost impossible.
Same.
Yes.
Agreed.
And so it was more out of necessity that I did it than anything else. And that's how I would describe basically every single thing that I do here, whether it's being into cameras, lighting, or whatever. It's just out of necessity that I've had to start doing.
Sorry.
Oh, we both.
Fuck.
I think we both froze.
Yeah, you both. Did you both freeze? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Fuck.
saw I was frozen.
I'm so sorry.
I'm wondering if this is a Streamlabs thing. We'll have to look into it when I'm there. We can ask the guy, because I'm wondering if Streamlabs uses an old
I'm sorry.
browser source. Continue. Go ahead.
So when I, turned 18 and moved out, I moved to the big city where I couldn't afford to do anything. So I couch surfed for 2 years and played in terrible metal bands and played, Warped Tour and Tom Fest and did the whole musician
You
on the
played
couch
Warped Tour?
thing.
I had no idea.
I played a couple times on the shitty Ernie Ball stage. It wasn't really playing Warped Tour. It was here's these scrubs and then we're moving on. But so, then, you meet people, you try and build bands and everything, but it would always fall apart because I could never find people to, keep consistent.
Yeah.
And so that turned into recording everything by myself because, once again, out of necessity, I didn't have people. And so that's just been kind of the story ever since. It's people would come, they would leave, I would do what I have to keep it going. And that's it. Basically, I can sum everything up of how I ended up here by that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, speaking to that point a little bit more, obviously on the Dusk's Embrace stuff, Aldo is the primary vocalist on most of that stuff. How did you meet him, and how did he get involved with the project to start doing that stuff?
I worked at Guitar Center for a few years, around 2015, and that was how I actually ended up meeting a lot of people and accumulating a lot of the equipment that I have, because when you work at Guitar Center, all you do with all your paychecks is buy gear.
That's the worst. That's like being a crack addict that works at the crack house.
It's
You're
so bad.
I need some crack. It's just right there in front of you. And
then so I met him through Guitar Center, and we kind of kicked it off in a friendship, and also were extremely competitive with each other because it's like a commission sales job. So we were always very competitive with each other and kind of developed a friendship out of that. I mixed a couple records for him, and then we did a couple small collaboration things. And then the weirdest thing happened is that I got an offer to be the GC Pro rep for the state of Washington. So I moved up there, and then right when I moved up there, we kind of started this project together that are some of the songs that I was playing. So I would work in Seattle on the weeks and then drive back to middle of Oregon for the weekends to work on this album, and then drive back, and I was just doing this back and forth for 3 or 4 months working on that album with Aldo. And we continue to work together and will still once COVID is not as big of a deal. But
he's performed with you on stream before too, right? He's been there for a couple streams. Yeah,
absolutely. And once he's here, if you want to look him up, he goes under Aldo Calrissian. You can check out, he's got tons of stuff on Bandcamp, Spotify, all that, and it's really cool stuff. We've collaborated. He has his own material as well. But he'll be here. We'll be doing some Dusk Embrace stuff, some covers.
Nice.
We'll probably also do some some of his original music video game stuff as well.
That's awesome.
So, nice.
Yeah. That's so cool.
So this is my favorite question for everybody. How would you compare performing on stage to performing on Twitch?
I would say that performing on stage is it's like an adrenaline rush, and performing on Twitch is like doing crack. And what I mean by that is when you perform on stage, it sucks because you have to haul all this heavy equipment around, and you set up and you do your thing, and you have to hustle, and then it's over. But when you perform on Twitch, especially with this hell that I've built for myself, like I'm not just playing guitar. Are all of the computers up and running? Are any of the lights failing? Is the automation working? Is a camera out of focus? Read chat. Like there's 10 million things happening at once that, like, once you get off stream, it ends up being this kind of like nervous high that takes hours to come down from. And sometimes
I totally agree.
Yeah,
100% agree with that. Like
some
even
nights you
last
just don't
night,
even sleep.
It was exactly what I had last night. It's funny because I was exhausted and didn't want to stream last night, and I ended up streaming because I wanted to do one more music performance before I left my studio. Here comes the crack, because I'm about to go to Europe and have to build a totally new setup in Europe with different computers in an unfamiliar setting, so my mind is just like all the time, like, what do I have to do? I have to think of this, I have to think of that. And it's like, even last night, I was exhausted when I finished stream, and I was exhausted when I started stream. Finished stream and just laid awake in bed, like, okay, what about this? Well, how do I route this? What do I do with this thing? It is, I tell people, and I bet you would agree with this, it may even be more, that I probably spend at least 3 times as much time working on stream when I'm not streaming as I do on stream. So to get to the 3 hours of on stream, I spend 10 hours working off stream to get to that point. And that is just the minimum. That's the minimum. There's probably more of that. Would you say that's true for your setup as well?
I would say, and in all honesty, I bet you this is exactly the same for both of you. It's actually something that's just never off. You're always on.
It's never off.
You're eating a cheeseburger and you're thinking about routing this. You're banging and you're thinking about, like, wait, I could plug this cable in. Yeah. Like, it's always on your mind.
Yeah, sometimes you're making out with Sarah Jazz, and I'm like, does this song have the right thing? I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Same though. I will be thinking, well, what could I do for my stream this time? Like, who am I tomorrow?
I'm like, this feels nice, but what about my MIDI routing? How am I going to do that over the network when I don't have an interface with the MIDI cable? This feels good, at least,
Yeah.
Well, and you guys were talking about something when I was just like hanging out before my performance. You were talking about like kind of the industry and the changes and what it means to make money and stuff.
Yeah.
And I one of the things that has always been important to me is a bit of like the do-it-yourself ethic and like being able to put on a performance no matter what. And I'm going to say some things that are just true for me. These are not like broad statement true for everybody things, but things that I've learned about myself. And that, like, for me, things like things that show how many viewers are there currently, or follower counts or sub counts, I have to hide all of that shit and never ever look at it.
Yeah.
Because it gets in my head in ways that is just not healthy for a performance.
Yep.
Same.
So like, and I think that matters a bit in terms of like, you're talking a bit about like what Twitch is and what it is performing here. And I think it's something a little bit more genuine than what stage performances can be in a way.
I agree.
Because there's not this like bravado of like, I'm up on the stage and you're over there. No, we can have a conversation. I can make a mistake. We can laugh about it when I trip and fall. It's a much more like you're connected to the audience in a different way.
Yeah. I also feel like it's
that
more personal. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And to do that convincingly, I think you have to, you have to really always keep your mind on that focus of like, you do this because you love it. You can't let something like, am I making money? Like, obviously there's like real life stress that you have to deal with and stuff.
Yeah, like especially for us, and I mean, I know you and I both have day jobs as well. And what's harder too is, for me, unfortunately, like, to keep the stream alive, I do have to have a certain level of financial support, which is different than other streamers. It sucks because, like, basically that's what keeps me alive at this point. So, but I'm the same as you. I think Sarah gave me that advice, and I'm so glad I listened to it, of turn off my numbers. Like, had she not, I did, the minute she told me, like, she noticed I was focusing on it, I turned it off, and I don't know what they are. It's the same as watching myself. Like, I was just talking about this in the chat. Like, I hate so much watching myself. Like, I don't like video editing myself. The more I watch myself, like, people on stream, there's actually, in my worst of that just came out, a clip at the end of me watching myself. And it's bad. Like, I legit can't, because the minute I become self-aware, and I'm sure this is true for you too, like, once you're in your head in that performance, you just literally can't do it. I had a moment the other day on stream, and I've seen you do this. I love when you and Darth Radius perform together. It's so much fun because the two of you will like fuck with each other. You'll be like, oh, that bass sounded like shit, or that thing that you did is whatever. I had a moment on stream the other day where I was playing The Twist of a Friendly Knife, the song with Alice the Little Alien, and the keyboard sound was like the wrong tone. I just fixed it, and it came out as the wrong tone, and I literally forgot how to play the entire song.
Exactly.
I thought about it, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? And I just couldn't. I remembered nothing. Like, so the rest of the song, I'm like, what is the keyboard? I don't even know what music is anymore. Like, the self-awareness is a killer when you're streaming.
It's funny how that evolves, because like I'll like sometimes rehearse without like turning everything on, and like the lights won't be going, and all of a sudden when I don't have the light cues, I'll be like, wait, how does this song go? Wait, what part is next?
Music?
Like, it's kind of, you know, I'm sure it's the same for you and Sarah in that like music has evolved into this a little bit more. I want to use the word holistic thing, where it's not just the music. Every single part of it is just as integral, and without any of it, none of it makes sense.
Yes.
Totally agree. Could you imagine, though, like last night, and Sarah can identify with this, but could you imagine, though, if you were playing a live gig, and imagine that all the people that are watching you on Twitch are like standing in front of the stage and behaving as they behave. So you're performing this really dramatic song. Yeah, you're performing this really dramatic song, and you look down at the front row, and Northbound Matt is like, "Hey guys, check out my girthy tree dick," and everyone in the audience is looking at Northbound Matt and laughing at him, and you are playing your song on stage, and then you're like, "Wait a minute," and now you're laughing at the girthy tree dick, but you're still trying to play your song. Like, that is what Twitch streaming is.
Yeah.
You're just like, people are making dick jokes, and you're on stage just trying to laugh, and people will tell, like, people come into my chat legit, and I know I do this for you sometimes, DeBlay. I'll come into the chat just to make a goofy comment to make you laugh while you're playing a song. It's like, could you imagine if people did that when you were on stage? Like, somebody walked up to you and like, "Hey, check out this dick joke that I have," and you're just like, "Oh, okay." I'm playing my song. Like, it's Jesus. It's amazing how we are not crazy. I don't even know how we're not crazy.
Yeah, one of my favorites with that is when my friend Christini is here. He plays drums with us sometimes, and we'll play a cover of "Burning for You" by Blue Oyster Cult. And every time we play that song, for some stupid reason, I took the extra pad we had on the kick and assigned it to a cowbell, so he has a cowbell. And so every time we play that song, everyone's just like, hit the cowbell, and he'll just sit there and rail on the thing until I can't take it anymore and I break down laughing. And so the song falls apart. And it's like the hardest guitar solo I play too, so he'll wait till that solo comes up and just start racking on it, so I fail every time. And it's just, you're right, it's such a different thing than live performance, because people come in and like, how can we fuck with them?
Exactly. If you did that on stage, people would leave. Yeah. Like, if you fucked up a solo that bad on stage, it'd be like, fuck, these guys suck. On Twitch, everyone thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
They're like, you fuck up, it's great.
Yeah.
It's fucking great that you screw up.
By the way, guys, because we are on Twitch, Arbor just redeemed stretch, so we're all just going to stretch a little bit. Just
have to stretch
a little bit.
Thanks.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's gotta stretch it out.
I got a good
Yes.
I got a good 10-minute stretch in before I streamed, you know.
It's good.
Cool.
It's
Always
good.
helpful.
Yeah.
It is true. I like what Creative says. It's about being equals versus better than. Like, it's the same thing. I legit, like, see, I'm the opposite. I probably have the worst. I think Sarah and I might be tied for the worst mentality on Twitch sometimes. And Sarah doesn't do this musically. She does it in other ways, but maybe I'm the worst, because I'm like, I suck compared to everyone. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I don't feel equal to anybody. Like, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, everyone's a better musician than me in every way. I'm just a fucking meme over here, like, doing my stupid videos. I know that's not true, because I know that I'm very passionate about songwriting, and I know that it shows in what I'm doing. But at the same time, I'm just like, for fuck's sake, I watch DeBlay or Scene of Action, or even Sarah sometimes. Like, Sarah's here in my office singing, and I'm like, wow, I'm garbage. Like, why do I even do this? But I don't know. I'm terrible.
I think there's something important to be said, though, with kind of a point you brought up earlier, in that, like, one of the things I learned, and I really learned this watching, like, people like you and Sarah, is that you have to build the audience that you want to have, not try and pander to an audience that, you know, like, for example, if you spend your whole time making sure you don't swear and you're prim and proper and don't say anything bad, you're going to build that audience, and the day you say a cuss word, you're going to lose everybody, you know? Like,
couldn't imagine.
You don't want to build the wrong audience. And with that being said, like, is spending, 8 to 10 hours of your day teching computers and dealing with software issues and, cable connections something you really want to do with your life? If not, then the quality, whatever it is that I'm doing, doesn't matter, because if you hate that, you're going to hate your life doing what I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
the worst part is, I think for a lot of people, is that I realize there comes a moment, and I don't want to call this person out, but he's in this room right now. There comes a moment for all of us where we hit that. Because when you start streaming, there's like the high of streaming. It's the good part of crack. It's like, okay, you're smoking and it's good and I love this. And then everybody hits that wall. It's just a matter of when. It's like 3 months in, 4 months in, 6 months in. You have that first stream that you do that you don't want to do. You're like, oh, I'm not excited about this. Something is broken. And then you just hit that wall. And the hardest thing to surmount, and I think this is what kills most streamers, is to realize that, this isn't all just good. No. And there's going to be times I stream when I don't want to, or something breaks on stream. I literally went through 8 months, and I went through 8 months of every single stream I was worried I was going to crash. And I'm like, so when people are like, I don't want to stream, it's like, what were you going to say, Sarah?
I found that out when touring, or when I was a full-time tour, or musician. What I really hated was booking. Gosh, I hate booking.
Okay.
Booking is the worst thing in the world. That is the thing, and I don't think I've met any professional musician who is like, oh, I like booking. Booking is the worst part of it. It's so it's no. It makes me not want to even go back to touring because it's so stupid. Yeah. It's so horrible.
Or trying to get promoters to pay you after the gig.
Right?
Well, it'd be like Darth.
That's
See,
the worst.
Sarah's so
Horrible.
lucky. She brought that up because we had that Darth Rip story here on Music Exposed where he was like, I had to carry a gun into the venue. And it's like, Sarah thankfully in Europe, she doesn't have to deal with quite as much as that. That is the uniquely American problem.
But when I'm touring in America with you, probably that's going to happen.
Oh, God, yeah. You'll have to deal with that.
Yeah, I'll just carry the gun. It's fine.
It's the worst. Yeah.
How many guns have you had to carry, Jay Dublé? How?
Yeah. Do you own any guns?
Do you have to carry any guns for getting paid at your gigs?
I personally don't. But we did have to. There was a time where we had this shitty brown tour van that we drove around in, right?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't start sometimes. So our bass player had a can of ether that we would have to spray. I don't know what he was doing, but he would spray it on the engine or something.
You
Hold
are.
on one sec.
Wait,
Am I
I'm
frozen up
sorry.
again?
I'm
Just to
so
reset,
sorry.
yeah.
Why the fuck is this happening? I'm so fucking
Yes.
sorry. No.
I like it. You're very
Okay, I don't look terrible at all.
This is a good episode. I'm so sorry.
Yes, it's going well.
Continue. Yes.
Fine.
No. Yeah, so if you really want to know what the music industry is like, this is what happened, is that we couldn't get the promoter to pay us. He didn't want to pay us. But once he saw us out in the parking lot trying to start our thing, he offered to pay us if we let him huff some of the ether that we were using to try and start our car.
God.
What?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was either something like that, or it was our car was stuck and we had to get a homeless person the ether to help him get us out of it. It was something like that. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, you run into the weirdest shit on tour.
You do.
When you're out on the road, I've never even done any really long extensive tours, but just being out on the road, you run into some really weird stuff sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
and you also bond so nicely with the band. I like that is one of the things that I really like about touring is you bond with the people and you develop these, everybody's exhausted, everybody's cranky, and you have your horrible jokes, and sometimes you hate each other too. And sometimes you realize who the bitch of the band is, so you can get rid of them, or not if they're very important.
I would be the bitch. I'm the bitch of the band. I already know I'm the bitch.
To let you know, when it comes to being in a metal band, which back when I was playing shows more frequently, it was just more straight up the melodic death metal stuff.
Yeah.
When you're in that kind of band, you only have the worst people. Our guitar player was always pissed because he wasn't 21 and couldn't in the venue. My drummer was a drug addict that constantly had methadone pills on a little pouch in his necklace. And so you're just dealing with the worst possible. Metal is the worst scene in the world. I'll never go back.
Yeah. I don't know. Metal versus gutter punk. Gutter punk might be down there. I guess that could kind of fall under metal, but I don't know. They're punk. I'd put punk up against it.
Such punk.
What was big? Yeah. What was big was the hardcore scene. So every single show was fights Every single show
That's
was them
true.
trying to not
That's
be on
true.
the stage but play on the floor and equipment breaking, and like it was not.
This is an
this was like
important question.
2010.
I like this. Holy Verapt. I actually agree. That's a great question. Who has had sex on tour, and how is sex on tour? JD Blay,
Sammy, thank you so much for the 100 bits.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. We have to do it because it is
Overtime! 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 Okay.
Anyway, JD Blay, have you ever had sex on tour?
I can't say that I have because I stopped playing shows when I was in like my mid-20s or something. And back in those days, I was like an extremely socially awkward person that had a hard time like talking to cashiers, and so like we would play our show and then I would just like meander away from the video or venue by myself for hours until it was time to leave.
There you go.
Many of my friends
That's
got
me.
laid, and I can't imagine that it was good because you're sweaty and gross, and it's
Yeah.
not like you have
The
showers
thing-
or anything around, so it couldn't have been
Gig stink
good.
is gross,
People
man.
imagine that
That's a lot.
touring or being on stage or like, gigging is just so glamorous, and it's not. The thing that you need the most, and this
Horrible.
kind of ties into the whole sex thing, is that the thing that you need the most is fucking sleep. Like if you don't
Yeah.
have any sleep,
Yes.
you're gonna die. So like if you have like a
Yes.
if you have somebody who wants to fuck you, you're like, okay, but let's make it a quickie. Come on, please hurry up, and then please
go to
leave
bed.
because I have to sleep because tomorrow I have to be awake at like fucking 8 a.m. in the morning because at 9 a.m.
Right.
I have breakfast at the hotel, and then we have to drive to the next venue that is like 5 hours away. So please hurry the fuck up. Thank you so much.
So here's where I have
love
to
this.
interject to what metal is like and how it's a little different from your experience. See, for us, it was we needed to be up at 9 a.m. to get in line for the plasma donation center, of which I still have scars on both of my arms,
my God.
because we had to donate plasma twice a week to make sure we could pay to get around to venues.
Oh
Jesus
my
Christ.
god.
Me and the bassist of our band, it was like our routine 2 times a week for like a year straight that we would just go
Wow.
donate plasma, and that's how we paid for getting around.
That is
That's great.
crazy.
So for you, the movie Green Room is like too close to home. That's another messed up movie. If people haven't seen it, another good movie, Green Room. It's quite a movie about that scene. But yeah, no, that's exactly. I remember the last show I was at actually was this indie music festival thing, and it was a punk band playing. And they literally got on stage, performed their first song, and said, "Hey, if anybody has a place where we can crash, like even a basement, even if it's just the floor, please let us know after the show." And then continued their show. So
Many
yes,
times.
that's an amazing thing that,
Oh my
that happens
God.
in the punk scene.
I will-
That's why I was like, yeah, I've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah,
Aldo's
I'll
seen
tell
Green
you
Room,
this
yes.
about donating plasma. It's not that bad, but fuck that movie 50 First Dates. I have seen that so many damn times that I just can't handle it. It's all they would ever play.
Oh my
So
god.
like twice a week,
can't.
you get to watch it 2 or 3 times.
Yes, that's
It was
great.
the worst.
That's great.
I actually
That's
have
great.
I have a last question that I
Okay.
really want to ask you. Is there anything that you hate about the music community or just Twitch community in general?
Twitch community, I wouldn't say so. There's very little like. I mean, it can be hard to keep up with sometimes. Things seem to change so fast, and there's
Yeah.
just it's the thing I would say I hate about it is that to feel like accomplished in myself, I feel like I want to have something that's relevant, and to do that means a whole lot of work keeping up with things sometimes.
Yeah.
The music industry in general, though, I would say I'm pretty much over.
Yeah.
I would describe the music, and maybe outside of like rock and metal, it's not the same, but I imagine it is. I would describe the music industry as just one giant name drop dick swinging competition. Like,
Totally true.
Yes.
and
Definitely
it's
true.
so
Yes.
tired, like I don't
Yeah.
care that this guy's friend's brother's sister of a famous band. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and I've dealt with that. You think like you hear about all these professionals in the music industry, and you like, oh, I'm going to work with this dude who's been in the industry, and you think it's going to be a good experience, and they show up and don't know a damn thing, or
Yeah.
they're just a lazy piece of crap. Like that's my least favorite thing about the music industry is that I feel like it's been like idealized so much that the people who have profited off it have really not had to progress beyond themselves in like 4 decades.
Oh, totally true. It was very interesting, actually, for any of you out there that are musicians or streamers, since this has been a really inside baseball episode. I really love the channel Produce Like a Pro, Warren Hewart. He's been doing this series of like great songs and the stories behind great songs. And he just did an episode where he talked about In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. And what was interesting about it is obviously Phil Collins was part of a major progressive band in Genesis throughout the 70s and was a super great musician in his own right. But that song is basically written off of preset loops.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they were talking about it like he was playing with the drum scene. He didn't know how to record himself, all that stuff. And this is a musician of 20 years. So just because, again, somebody's in a famous band or they're even anything doesn't say anything about their skill level or what
Sure.
they can do. Maybe they're great in that band and in that role. But amazing video about that for people who are like, oh, well, I need to do this perfect thing. And it's like, yeah, In the Air Tonight, which is one of the most famous songs of all time. Like,
Yeah.
everybody knows that song.
Yeah.
Like, the entire first 3 minutes of that song is a preset loop on a Lynn drum machine. Like,
So-
he didn't even change it. Just
Yeah.
press play and went, oh, I'll write a song around this. You know,
I
it's
think,
like, oh, okay.
I think that point you just made, though, is actually a better answer to Sarah's question that I would like to say, in that, like,
Yeah.
probably the absolute worst thing about the music industry is that it like puts off this gated community vibe so hard, and it
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
really is so hard for people to get in. And I feel like I'm a personal believer that there's not such a thing as creative people and non-creative people. I think everybody is creative given the opportunity in their own way. And so for me, it's like I want people to see music and everything not as like this unapproachable mountain that you can't do, but just think that some dumb idiot with a drum machine made a hit and you could too. Like
Yes.
you don't
Exactly.
you don't have to spend your
Totally
whole
agree.
life studying music theory and lighting composition to
Agreed.
get on here and do something amazing. Like,
Agreed. Yes.
100%.
and yeah, and so I think that is like the worst thing about the music industry, and the most important thing for people who haven't started yet to realize is that, like, don't think that the chasm between you and me is really that big.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you,
well, and that's what I hate. I hate that. Speaking of things that we hate, Sarah, I know you hate this too about the Twitch music community. Is there are some of you in the Twitch music community who are trying to build that again in the Twitch music community.
Yes.
There are some of you who name drop and get clicky, and I know this person, and treat streaming like that, which is exactly why we started Music Exposed. And it's why I love musicians like you and Other Glow and For After Ever and Sarah, because none of us are like that. We want to have like an independent, crowdsourced thing where when we win, we all win.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are trying to create that shit in the Twitch music community by licking some streamer's butthole, fucking stop it. Stop it. We don't need that here. It's the worst. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely stop telling people you
Thank
are
you,
my
Sammy.
friend. North
Thank
on
you for
that,
the
totally
100%.
right. That guy is the worst. The sound. No, but there are some people. I know that is. There are some people who just have that mentality. Maybe they brought it in from their own music stuff, maybe wherever. But some of that shows up sometimes in the Twitch music community, and I couldn't hate it more.
Yeah.
Of just like, get that out of here. Just because you're a partner or just because you have more audience or whatever doesn't mean anything. It's just
Yeah.
like we're all just people.
yeah.
You know, I remember I was watching this documentary about like a tribe that is a little bit like isolated from modern technology and civilization in some country in Africa, and I can't remember. But there was a guy that was like documenting them, and they were having like a nightly like dance and singing party, right? And
Yeah.
they asked him like, "Oh, why don't you come dance with us?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't dance." And they were like, "What are you talking about? You're a human. Of course you sing and dance."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that that's like a huge thing, like for people like watching, like you don't have to be, Christina Aguilera to sing. You don't have to be Eddie Van Halen to play a guitar. And in fact, some of the things that I have learned that have been most important for me have been from people that were at times where they were terrible at their craft.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I also say this selfishly in a way of like, come and join us and start doing these things so I can steal good ideas from you.
Yes.
Same, damn right. That is exactly right. If me in my bedroom, basically with zero money at all, could figure it out and do it, and I had no proclivity for this stuff, like I knew nothing. I remember part of the reason I quit music was the fact that I couldn't figure out how to do the type of production stuff I'm doing. And I, again, had zero budget. I figured out how to do this stuff with nothing. I mean, anybody can do this stuff, and that's why I love teaching it and doing this this thing as well. Share, not steal. We all steal from each other.
We all steal
I
from
stole
each
my
other.
I stole my entire gimmick. My stream started as the bastard child of 4 After Ever and the Village Ruse, and then I met Sarah and stole half her stream, and so now it's like
some
we
people
all
call
steal
you
from
the
each
male
other. It's
Sarah
true.
Jazz, or call me the.
Oh my God! Well, I'm very happy when people tell me how much they love me on Sarah's show. That's my favorite thing. when people are like, "Man, I love you on Sarah's show. You're so good on that." Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's not like it's your show too, but you know.
No, it's not at all. It's my favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's again one of the things I love so much about this community, and being able to do what we do, you know. And that's especially why I wanted to start doing the festivals thing, and we've started doing that a lot more too. And I definitely want to get you in one of those.
Oh,
too.
you should get on it.
Oh, for sure. We're gonna do
Please.
that. Basically because we wanted to create a stage for people and doing that kind of thing where, you know, we can all kind of share each other's audience, because to me, like you said, it doesn't really matter. We all kind of share the stuff. So if one of us got the audience, like, you know, I was fortunate to grow pretty quick. I just want to give that audience to other people. Like people gave me the tech or people gave me whatever. It's like,
Sure.
we're all in the same boat. And to me, what I know from life is we're all going to die. Since that's our theme for today, we're all gonna die.
That's how we
theme-
feel better about 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna die someday,
theme of
and if you
today
have
is
a big
death.
audience, yes, you're gonna die. And if you don't share your followers and your community and your music with as many people as you can, and focus on the community, then nothing's gonna matter. And so for me, that's exactly what I want. The rising tide raises all ships, and that's the thing though, and that's what I love about this community too. Is that if someone's not about that, you get rid of that person. Like, you'll realize pretty quickly, like, if someone's a dick and they're coming in just to take, you realize very quickly, and everybody in the community, like, it's amazing.
Slightly obvious, thank you.
Sarah, you know this too. Like, here's some tea, because DeBlay doesn't have drama. He doesn't participate in that. So here's our drama conversation for today. I cannot tell you how much gossip I know about other streamers. The shit I hear in my DMs, like, people get in my, like, you think you're getting away with it if you're being a dick to somebody, but that word spreads fast. It's a much smaller world than people realize, and I hear shit about people when they do stupid things and all that stuff, and I know Sarah does too. You'll hear, like, if a streamer does a certain
hear
thing,
shit all the time about other streamers. Yeah, you will. Nobody will talk about it, like, publicly. But streamers will talk through between each other and be like, hey, what is up with this and that dude or this and that girl? I have to tell you this story about blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, it's not public, but we all know, okay? If you're being an asshole, we all know.
We know who the clout chasers are. That's why we joke so much about Jersh. Believe me, everybody had heard about that before that was ever a thing. Or, you know, certain streamers that only show up when you get a big raid. Like, you'll never see that person, but then you get a big raid, and all of a sudden,
there's so many like those.
There's this certain streamer that shows up every time you get a big raid, and when you have over 100 viewers, like, there that streamer is. Interesting.
Yes.
And you would be
like,
surprised
oh, congrats
at how much
for so
people
many.
talk
Look
about
at
that.
you growing. Congrats.
Oh yeah, great. Glad you're here for your shout out right now. Because for me, that's why, like, I think, and this is one thing, I think there are some streamers that do a good job of this. Sarah is one of them, but I think one of the things that I brought, I'm gonna pat myself on the back, chat. I think I started making a ridiculous overproduction about shouting people out. Like, a shout out on my stream is fucking ridiculous. Like, it's 45
like
seconds,
2 minutes,
singing a song, all that stuff. So that's one thing that I brought, and then I'm glad, like, Darth Rips took that idea and other people started stealing that, and I love that. But again, when I notice someone is like that they're only showing up for that, I don't do the production for them, and I'm sure it pisses them off, because there are some people that I know that it will only show up when it's like, oh, Silence is doing good, or there's a festival today, and I won't make the production for those people. So that's how they'll know who they are. It's like, you know who you are if you're not actually participating in the community.
Watch out for that, guys.
And you're only showing up for that. You know you're not getting your shout out
Man,
song.
I was wondering why I never get a shout out song.
That's totally it, because Sarah is a clout chaser, and now I've already taken from you. No, and it's like, I like doing that because I don't think that I like doing that because I don't think shout outs are enough, and I've said that before. Like, just a casual throwaway, like, oh, someone shout out this person in the chat. I know from experience that doesn't get results because I used to be
It's
a
true,
person
yeah.
that I used to track that. It doesn't work. So for me, when I stopped the stream, like the other day, I embarrassed Alana Maddie, who I want to have on this show before. But I was like, hey, my stream's doing well, and I can tell a lot of regulars are here, and Alana Maddie's here. So what did I do? I stopped my stream and I played her song. And then I played Winter's Epitaph right after that. So Jay Dublé got his exposure on my stream of like, hey, this song is awesome. Listen to it right now.
Yeah.
And then this song is awesome.
So good.
Listen to it
Such
right
a good
now.
song.
And it's just like, I know that that's probably way over the top, but also I know that will actually increase the likelihood that people will actually go listen to your song or follow your stream. Like,
For sure.
If I can do that extra step, then that makes a big difference. And there are a lot of people that don't. And that's where the gated community thing comes in a lot at this point.
For sure.
Where it's just like, don't do that. If you actually want people to follow somebody else, stop and draw attention to it. Don't just be like, shout out that person. Like Sarah's shout out is actually so like, her shout out is so telegraphed that everyone knows the exact lines of how she says how to people and how she shouts people out, which I love that. It's because you do it so much. You have like the script of like,
For sure.
oh, how was your stream? What did you do today? Tell me everything about it. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the shout out. Like that's Sarah's shout out. Like, so you're like, oh, okay. You know, it's just, if you want to actually
Hi, how are you
build
doing?
the
I hope you're
community
doing well.
and be
Can I get a
part-
shout out for?
Yes, exactly. So it's just like it's if you want to be part of the community or part of what we're doing here on Music Exposed or like what Jay is talking about,
I
you
seem to
got to
have
give
lost
back
everything.
to it. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, no.
you're fine. I'm just
Oh,
it's just
it's
sometimes it does
tech.
things. It just does things. I'm
Yeah.
like I'm trying
just
to
does
prevent
things.
it the whole time. It's been going good.
It's fine.
But then
But
right
yes.
then.
Yeah, but everybody has their way of doing it. And I will assure you, if you're a person that literally is just about the clout chase or literally just about I want their viewers or their followers, not only will it not work, I know it will actively make people stop watching your
Okay,
stream.
but I
Like
need
if you're a douche,
I need
it
to
will
say
make people
something
stop watching
though.
your stream.
Jay Dublé, you need to fucking clout chase because you need like people need to watch you. People need to watch you. It's so important.
I
You don't
agree.
even know. You're so amazing. Like you're so awesome, and I'm so happy that people like you exist on this platform. Like it's
Thank
just it
Yes.
just makes me happy that people. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I joined Twitch. I thought I was one of the only professional musicians on the platform, and I would like shit on the music community all the time. I'd be like, I would be like, man, like this is kind of like the musicians are fine and stuff, but they're kind of mediocre. And I know I sound like an elitist asshole, and it's fine, it's okay. It's the jazz person in me. I'm very sorry. Hashtag sorry,
Jazz
sorry,
is
not
very
sorry.
elitist.
Sometimes,
Yes. But like I'm just happy that people like you exist. And then I'm like, why doesn't everybody know you? And I know that's like obviously you don't have control over it. But it's like, what the fuck, guys? Everybody, if you haven't followed Jay Dublé right now, go right now. Otherwise, I will fucking ban you. I'm telling you, and you will fucking watch his streams or lurk or whatever. I don't care. Go there right now and watch next time. Because you saw he's fucking amazing. Like his show is so great. Like fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Thank
But
you.
then people will be
Like, fuck-
watching.
yes,
I'm sorry.
fuck
I
Jay
have
Dublé.
No, I'm
That's what
sorry.
you need to
Fuck
do.
that shit.
Fuck Jay
No,
Dublé.
I'm sorry. I'm
Do it in
sorry.
China.
I'm
Fuck
sorry.
Jay Dublé.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this. You guys, people will be watching fucking sensitive girl on the ukulele instead of watching Jay Dublé, who has like a fucking amazing show. But no, sensitive. Mediocre girl on the ukulele who knows how to play 4 fucking chords and sing mediocrely. You will watch that instead
I
of
love
watching
this.
Jay
I love
Dublé.
this.
I hate all of you for doing that. I'm sorry, my rant is over.
Listen, you know who those guys are, though. You know sensitive ukulele viewers are fucking the word that we can't say anymore. They're just there sucking up to, and they're being stream daddies. They're like, hi, I'm your stream daddy. And you know that the second that little ukulele girl makes an off-color joke, she's going to get 10 DMs from her stream daddy saying like, hey, it's uncouth of you like that to act like that on stream. I only like women that have values, and I only like tasteful cleavage, which that's a great family, tasteful cleavage. So I only like my cleavage tastefully, okay? You can't show. Listen, I need to be able to
Not
to
more
have
than
a
B
1-inch
cups,
tape line.
which
Yes,
that
that's
means
right.
not more than B cups, by the way. If you have more than
I
B
will
cups,
go
you're
watch
fucked.
one of.
Just saying.
Yes, I will go watch one of the other 5 ukulele girls if you can't get your act together, okay?
I don't want other guys getting off while I'm getting off. This is wrong.
Yeah. This is wrong. Like, what is this? Like, is this masturbation class
totally
or something?
true.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Masturbation class. I think you should teach that on stream. That'd be great. That's amazing.
Oh boy.
Nothing
Sarah's going
against
to ban in 2
ukuleles,
seconds.
by the way. Nothing against ukuleles. I mean, really, but like, this could be
Group wank.
piano, could be piano or guitar, sensitive piano or sensitive guitar girl or guy. Like, this,
Yes,
this
that's
is
right.
guys too, by the way. Like, sensitive.
You know, I don't like. I used to get hung up on it a little bit more, and it used to bother me kind of in the same way. And you know, like, honestly, I was a little bit nervous busting out that Autumn Leaves cover because obviously I'm not a jazz guy, and that's like me trying to like learn some.
I love
you know, it's
that.
like,
I
what-
love that. I love that
what's
you
the most
played Autumn
white bread
Leaves.
jazz song I could learn.
Yes.
But like, you know, you learn a little bit of that and you get that kind of snooty vibe like, but do you even know your 9th chords? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there can be some of that.
Yeah, that was
And
totally
you gotta
me.
leave
I
all
was-
that behind.
That was totally me.
Yes.
I was
And
judging
so-
you.
Yeah. And then I got to think back about like what it is that I'm doing, you know. And I remember like in 2012 or something, I played a show in San Francisco and I dragged computers and amplifiers with me and I had these reamp boxes. And back then, since I didn't have like the computer tech, I was physically like sending signals out to like I bring a band's worth of amplifiers, but be like sending DIs out from computers. And I played in front of a small audience and they just did not understand a single thing that was happening to me.
Yeah.
Like they looked at me like I was stupid.
Yep.
And in some respects, doing this, like trying to take this whole pre-recorded production, and even though I'm not miming any of my parts or anything, there's still this kind of disconnect to it. You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
When you watch someone with the ukulele or somebody playing a piano and singing, you are seeing something that is 100% live. And
That
so I
is
do
true.
think there's a totally different kind of audience for something like that. And for somebody like me, I end up like attracting people who are interested in production and
Yeah.
quality and other
Oh, for
streamers.
sure.
And that's just going to be the name of the game. Like I know that's like
Yep.
with what I want to do, that's what's going to happen. So, you know, you have to learn to accept some of those things.
Yeah.
Totally true. And I agree because I love the show and I love concerts, which I think is, again, why I was so attracted to your stream when I first found it, 2 years ago or whatever, when I was, at 30 followers or whatever. And I was just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's what I'm drawn to because what I love about music for me is it's all about the feel.
Right.
Like, I'm not a technical musician. Like, I grew up going to concerts, and I love indie shows, and I love lights, and I love the smell of the smoke machine, and to me, that's
Right.
what a concert is, and so I love the stuff that emulates that. It's probably why Scene of Action was so
Thank you,
amazing
Sammy.
to me when I watched it, of just like,
For sure.
oh my God, you can do this? Like, you can have the fog, and you can have the thing, and actually create the feel of it, and you can also have a community that shows up, like, all the time and watches that stuff. Like, that's so you're exactly right. And it's the same for my stream. It's like,
Yeah.
I think 75% of my followers are other streamers. And I know that's true for you too, which
Well,
is good because
yeah.
they're all your friends and they shout you out and all that stuff. But it's tough because it's not an audience that's just there to listen and hang out and listen
Yeah.
to your music too. That's the downside of that, of like, streamers are busy and you can only
Sure.
be there, in your 1 or 2 hours where you're not actually building your stream or doing that stuff. And it just sucks because that's the thing about streamer support. It is so good to have other streamers support you and have a community of streamers, and it's
Definitely.
awesome. But you also can't take it personally when they don't show up. And
Oh,
I think
for
that's
sure.
hard
They're
for
busy too.
I think a lot of us we mix that up of like, when the streamers don't show up, it's not their fault. It's just because they're fucking busy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I know that when you're not there, you're in a 3 weeks of wire coma. Oh, my server computer doesn't work. My wires, I had to rewire the whole studio yesterday. And it's like, it's not that Jay doesn't want to be there. It's just he's busy.
Right.
And it's the same for me of all that. So you have to keep that in mind as a streamer. Like, when streamer friends aren't showing up, they're not the same as a lot of people who aren't streaming as much, or your true audience, or are passionate about your music
sure.
and stuff, because they're fucking busy.
Or
That's
they
how it
just
is.
start hating you. Because
That's
you
true.
show too
I
much
definitely
cleavage.
hate-
By the way, JW, chat wants
not
you
tasteful.
to start showing the cleavage
Tasteful
on your
cleavage.
streams.
Oh, gotcha.
Tasteful,
Tasteful
only
cleavage.
though.
I was actually going to say, on the line of like ukulele players, you could make like the terrible metaphor of saying like, my stream is like, a blonde with big fake tits and heels doing porn when most people want to watch
right.
Homemade.
Yes.
That is exactly right.
Yes.
Jay Dublé is a bimbo rock stream. That's exactly
Exactly.
what he is. The bimbo rock stream.
The
No,
H,
I
the
guess
4K,
I like that about music.
4K
I
bimbo
want the-
rock stream.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is exactly what Jay Dublé does.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Jay. As I mentioned, you're one of the main reasons I wanted to do this. Obviously, you'll be on future festivals with us when we do those, and when I get settled, I definitely want to have you on. Everybody needs to follow Jay Dublé.
Yes.
As I said, he's raised the bar in terms of production, and not just that. If you strip it all away, and this is true, this is not true for a lot of streamers who have big production. If you strip everything away and you just listen to
still
Jay's
has amazing
Dusk
music.
Embrace music,
Yes.
his music's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I listened to Winter's Epitaph. Actually, Winter's Epitaph is in my rotation. Like, when I was working here during the day, Sarah was listening to me listen to it. Like, it's just, at the end of the day, the music is why we do this stuff, and your music is amazing. And I'm so grateful for all that you do for me and for the community, and everyone needs to follow you. Like, just,
if I could throw out like one last thing, like
Sure.
my next big project, I'm working with a friend, and we've already kind of been storyboarding and building kind of the base of what it's going to be. But my next big project is going to be short, digestible, like 3 to 5 minute YouTube videos that detail basically like how to go from buying your first webcam to running a studio the way I do, and trying to break it all down to, like trying to get rid of some of the worst parts of tutorial videos of like, hey, my name's Jim and my computer's not working now. And, you have to like meander around a 30-minute video to find any relevant information. So we're going to try and start building a channel that is solely focused on helping streamers understand all of the tech and all of, things like lighting, things like basically anything you would need to know to go from you just bought a computer to here's a studio with a whole bunch of lighting fixtures flown in the ceiling, and how do you manage it all?
Yeah. I want to talk to you about that because Sarah and I are doing it's not similar. We're doing something similar, so I definitely want you to come in and work with us on what we're doing too. Because we want to do something that is a bit more hands-on. We've talked about this before. I've actually already started working with some streamers on stuff. We're getting hands-on, where we want to do some of the teaching and stuff like that, but also at the same time, like directly support people with streams and kind of like give feedback and review and ideas and help that kind of thing. Hand job tutorials, yes. Sarah already does that.
I do. I will not do the grapefruit. I will not do the grapefruit technique. I will do the orange technique. It's very different, I swear. You both don't know what that is, do you? Do you guys know what the grapefruit technique is?
I can't say that.
My God, you guys don't know about old fucking internet memes. I can't with you.
I don't know about old internet memes. Who are you talking to? Should I hang up on this call
to
right
the
now?
person who doesn't know what the grapefruit technique is. Just saying,
I'm just saying. All your base belong to me. Yes. Anyway, Jay Dublé.
Jay Dublé, do you want to tell Chad anything else before you go?
Will you be adding tasteful cleavage to your stream?
Yes, lots of tasteful cleavage. I have, for anybody who's been here when I've had Deanie drumming, I have thought about getting a cardboard cutout of Ron Weasley since he looks like him and have that back. Just stick that back to the drum set when he's not here.
Yes.
Speaking of that, though, he is actually on the way here. So here in about another 30 minutes or so, we're going to be, once I can get all the tech back up and running, we're going to do another stream. I have the drummer here with me. We're going to play some more music and hang out a bit.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Please go check out Jay Dublé. Follow him.
Are you going to stream right away, or?
No.
It'll probably be like half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm going to have to set some tech up. But I'm also going to be doing some streams where I'm going to be building basically like a flowchart diagram as a starting point of like how my studio works, and be doing a lot more like tech style streams based on teaching people how to do stuff as a way of kind of formatting what we're going to do with the YouTube channel. And then also, obviously, we'll be here doing music and stuff too. So.
And Hollow Knight speedruns.
And Hollow Knight randomizer speedruns. Yes. Lots of that.
Yes.
So that's pretty much what I got.
I'm so grateful to have you here. Thank you so much, Jay Dublé. Amazing.
Thank you
Everyone,
so much.
Please go follow
have
him.
a wonderful
Thank you guys.
night and day. Whatever. Thank you for being on.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Wonderful. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Have a wonderful night and day and evening and brunch and lunch and all of those things.
Have a wonderful brunch.
Have a wonderful brunch.
Make sure you have a wonderful specific time of day, wherever day it is, whatever time it is where you are. Yes, totally agree.
Have a wonderful 24 hours.
Yes, have a wonderful life. It's a wonderful... And remember, you're going to die.
Remember, you're going to die. Yes.
Yeah, remember, your death is inevitable and nothing really matters.
Shut
up and go to Germany. I will be doing that tomorrow. As I mentioned, next week, if you can let people know, please spread the word. We'll be talking about it. there is a massive fundraiser next week.
Primo, thank you so much for gifting that sub to Makes It Fit.
As on this show and all of the episodes of Music Exposed, obviously all of your support supports us both. Thank you for supporting Music Exposed. It helps.
Oh my God,
you know,
shut the
play
fuck
for Playing
up,
Tickets
Sarah.
to Germany and
Warrior,
brings us
thank you so
together.
I only
much for the
support
20
this show
euros.
because silence is on Sarah channel.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys so
Obrigado,
much. All
Warrior.
the support is for that. But next weekend it is massive. We are actually, as I mentioned, next week doing part of the fundraiser. Even though I wasn't on the flyer, so just Sarah is raising funds for C. Miller. I will be here. Just
Wait, you weren't on the flyer?
I'm
They
not
probably
on the flyer,
meant.
so
They
I
probably
apparently-
meant. Wait,
Listen,
they probably
I
meant.
love me, I
they
love
probably
me on Sarah
meant.
Jazz's
Wait,
show.
They probably meant my channel and not your channel.
I know. I'm just making a joke because I wasn't on it.
You were on the flyer before though. You were on the flyer
there's
before.
there are some people that have ands. There's some people that have ands. They just want to cut me out. That's how it
There
is.
are
I'm just
people
kidding.
that have ands.
I'm kidding. I'm
Really?
kidding.
Oh no.
I'm kidding.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I don't care.
Yes,
It
you
doesn't matter. I'm
do.
just being-
Yes, you do.
I'm being petty.
It's actually.
I know.
yeah,
I'm intentionally being petty.
No,
I'm
but
being
it
petty.
just.
That's
But
what it
it's
is.
like sometimes it's actually annoying. You know. You know what? I'm gonna be ranty right now. I'm gonna rant.
No one cares about
I'm
my
gonna
stream.
rant.
I know. No one cares.
Oh my God. I'm gonna rant right now. I'm gonna rant just for a second. You know what? Being hosts of a show. Sometimes people forget that we also are still musicians and we also still like to be invited to shows, and to podcasts and to interviews and stuff like that.
Yes.
And there's a lot of podcast / interview shows that have guests on that they discovered through us, through Music Exposed.
That is true.
But they never
That
had
is
us
true.
on. They never had any of us on, never asked us. And it's like, we still exist, We're supporting people, but, we also kind of need support,
They don't care. They don't care about you guys.
That's
It's
very true.
They don't care about me.
Sometimes
I think people
it's
are
just...
scared. You know what I think it is? I think people are scared of me. I think
Of
that's
you?
what it is. Like I think people are scared of me because I'm very inappropriate, and I think that people are just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. No, creative minds, I would do it anytime. No, I agree. I do think that happens. I think people are like, oh, you know what I think it is? It's the, how would you call it? Like, people think we're more successful than we are. I think that's what it is. Of like the fact that people think that, oh, because we do a show and we do whatever, that we are more successful than we are.
Wait, Jay DeBlake,
And
can
it's
you
like,
mute
for me-
yourself? I can't mute yourself. I can't mute you.
You should be able to. Oh, yeah,
I'm
he's
sorry.
still on the call. Oops.
Yeah.
Well, they can't. Yeah, that's funny.
He's
Oops,
like-
he's still on the call.
Your face
He's
right
like,
now.
what am I doing? No, but I agree. I would do interviews or hang out with anybody. Like I try to use my intimidated by my clout. My clout.
Yeah, your clout.
Like basically, what cracks me up is I don't think other than maybe one or two streamers that we've maybe had one or two streamers on here that are as the same size as me or slightly smaller. Literally everybody else who's on the show is bigger than me. Like I'm a nobody compared to most of the guests that are on the show. Like that's just how it is. So
I just wanted to rant about that a little bit. There's like people forget that we also like we do this show and stuff, but we still exist. We're still here. We still as people and as musicians and as streamers, we still exist. I'm just in a ranty mood today.
Sure.
Why am I in a ranty mood? First, I went after
because the tech
sensitive ukulele girls, and now I'm going. And people watching.
You're
that
ranty because the tech wasn't working right. That's why you're ranty.
Oh, that's why you already know it. Yeah, just ranty, okay?
Yes.
Just don't forget that we also exist and we like to, Actually, I'm gonna.
Can I have your autograph when I meet you? Whatever. Yes. Yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah. So I would like to know how to synthesize meth because then we might actually have money.
Yes.
We might actually not be broke.
Yes.
Poor assholes that are begging.
Yes.
That are begging. We are grifting on the internet
Nobody
for plane
gang.
tickets to Germany.
I like how Northbound Man is
grifting,
like.
Listen, I'm grifting for plane tickets
stretch.
and groceries.
Stretch.
Oh, that's it. Yes, we are internet grifters.
Ow.
I like to believe I provide a lot of value. Okay, I provide value. All right. I'm just saying. I provide hundreds of hours of work to give you a few hours a month of entertainment to take your mind off things and make you laugh at blowjob giraffes and stupid stuff. I do work for it. So
Yeah, we both
I appreciate
work
all
for
of the
it.
contributions.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the amount of time We literally, I was saying this when we were together. I mean, at this point, Sarah and I, it took us, I think, all of like 4 hours of being together before we talked about work the first time. We always talk about work. On our phone call yesterday, when we were just spending time for us, we spent the entire time talking about work. So,
we did, and I hated it, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
But anyways,
too.
Let's see who we are going to raid, because we have a lot of work to do today, and you have a plane tomorrow, which is fucking...
I have not even packed any. I've legit packed nothing. So...
Well, all
I'm
you
not
need,
packed at all, and
all
I have
you
to leave
need
in
is
the morning.
to bring yourself.
I have a raid suggestion.
Yes.
He actually raided me earlier this week. Guitar Shredder.
Shredder.
I've never raided. I don't think we've ever raided him.
I have
so
raided
I'm
him
gonna
a few
post the
times.
link.
I have raided
Have you?
Guitar. Yeah, but we can go because I haven't raided him in a
I don't
while.
think we raided him from Music Exposed.
From Music Exposed, we haven't. No. Where is he?
We've raided 4 after.
There he
recently.
is, Guitar Shredder.
He's right there.
Let's see.
That's
Guitar
Streamlore. Yes, I did.
Shredder.
I did tell Ancient. I told Ancient Streamlore at that stuff. We'll raid 4 after ever. Don't believe me. We will promote 4 after ever again. Don't worry about that. We'll raid. I promote 4 all the time. We'll raid him.
Yeah, of course. There's so many
people.
people to promote, and we will promote everybody. Don't worry about it, guys. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being
Love you guys.
Awesome, and also supporting the stream, all of that. And yeah, I think
And you have a big event. You have a big event tomorrow. There's a big event tomorrow.
You don't know anything about that. Shush. I'm not talking about it. I'm not.
Okay. Fine.
Guys, I'm not streaming tomorrow. Not streaming tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm not streaming tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I guess she's not streaming tomorrow.
I'm not streaming tomorrow. Anyways, have a good flight. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.